All right, hey everybody. Welcome back to the Lone Wolf adventure, in which I am soon to die, most likely. Um, welcome back to Zip. Thanks for hanging out. Hey, Ofex, how you doing?
Hello, Ofax. Good to see you tonight.
I see you in there. Ooh, you get to catch it live. I know, isn't it? Sorry, we had to switch weekends. It's gonna be a little weird for 2 weeks next month. Well, this month. It is now this month. I have family coming up, so I'll try to kick them out of the house so that I can actually stream. But one of the weeks we are having a family reunion, and so I will be out of town. I don't have the exact schedule yet. I will soon. I'll let you guys know when that happens. Um, so let me know how the music volume is, guys. I kicked it down a notch. If it's too quiet, if you're not hearing it, let me know. If it's too loud, let me know. Yeah.
Who else we have with us today? Anybody?
Um, N. Weissmuller is hanging
Cool.
out. Mamba's in here also. Hey, Mamba, how you
Hello,
doing?
Mamba. All right. Well, I guess we can jump in then. So where we ended last time, I'll do a little bit of a catch us up, a story so far. So, Lone Wolf, last of the Kai Lords, who were recently all murdered in a vicious attack on them by the Dark Lords. She made her way to Homeguard, the capital, and there was tasked with a new mission to retrieve the only weapon that can defeat a Dark Lord, and that is the fabled Summer Sword of legend, which was used to strike down Dark Lord Vashna at the Battle of the Malkin Gorge. Um, to do this, she was given the Seal of Hammerdal, which is a symbol of the relationship Durinur shares of Summerland. And if ever they are presented with the Seal of Hammerdal, they have agreed to not only aid Summerland and her allies in fighting back against the Dark Lords, but to turn over their other ancient relic, the Summer Sword, which rests the capital of Hammerdal. The journey had a bit of a unfortunate start. From the beginning, Lone Wolf was set upon by assassins, escaped their grasp, made it onto a ship, and they started their path all the way from Homeguard. They were headed for Port Bax, but they didn't make it. A series of disasters struck, and ultimately Lone Wolf was knocked overboard, lost sight of the ship and its crew and its captain, and ended up she ended up being picked up by some fishermen who knocked her out and stole our stuff.
I'm still in
So,
mourning for Susan.
yes, we've lost Susan the Warhammer. Ragadorn, where she is now, as she finds herself, she managed to hunt down the fishermen and recovered some of her equipment and had to purchase other items to make up the difference. And now she is lingering outside of a coach house where it's evening. And actually, when we start, you will have climbed into a hayloft above the coach house just to get some sleep
Okay.
because you are exhausted. And also, there's nobody operating the coach house this late. But at dawn, you will awaken and try to purchase passage on a coach that will take you overland, all the way down the Wildlands Road and eventually to Port Bax. And from there, you'll try to make your way to the capital. So that should catch us up. The only other bit of housekeeping is last time I forgot to mention that Lone Wolf, you while everything was stolen from you, you did manage to keep hold of your Crystal Star pendant that was around your neck. The thieves did not touch that. You believe it's because of superstitious reasons. I mean, the Crystal Star it's a known organization. The stars are definite signs of being favored by the Brotherhood, and it'd be like taking somebody's cross from around their neck. It's just, you don't do it. So they left you with that.
Yeah. All right. Mueller's commenting that you're rolling attacks with your proficiency bonus added in now. I noticed you forgot that in session 2. Yeah. That's the entertainment magic is fickle rule, in that we occasionally forget certain things. Like, I forgot that I get to add proficiency. Like, I get a +2 bonus to my favorite enemy, and I totally never did that. So
So you weren't adding proficiency to your weapons attacks last round?
session 2 we kept forgetting.
Oh, okay.
And I have a +2 bonus to damage rolls against any of the Giacs, and I totally never did that. So
magic is fickle.
Magic is fickle, and we'll one by one slowly finally remember. Yeah, we're still forgetting stuff in our main campaign. It's like, oh yeah, I had like my tiefling character had, what did she have? She had that once a day hellish rebuke, and we totally forget she had it. We also forgot that she was like resistant to fire, and she took super amounts of fire damage in one session, and I was like, wait a minute, she shouldn't have even had that problem.
Some fires are too hot even for her, and Lone Wolf gets hit in the face a lot, so sometimes her proficiency bonus just kind of goes away. We blame it on the concussion. But that's awesome. If anybody, I love rules discussions and having, digging deep into rules. So if anybody ever notices anything, please feel free to point it out. It does not bother us.
Yeah, no, and I mean, the thing is, like, I have so many things to keep in mind with this character, as far as, like, okay, she's got the Mind Blast, she's got the dex bonus, and then she's got the +2 to this, and the +2 to that, and advantage to this, and I'm just like, oh my god!
so much better than Pathfinder.
Right?
Not a knock on Pathfinder. I love Pathfinder, but oh my god, this amount of stuff you have to keep track of. I don't know that there's ever been a rules correct game of Pathfinder played. But anyways, we will fix things on the fly. We won't go back and fix things, of course, but we will fix things on the fly, especially if they're pointed out to us as we're going. So, all right. Anybody else have anything? In that case, I think we'll get going. So you awake at dawn to the sound of a shrill cockcrow. You see the crooked streets of Ragadorn through a veil of heavy rain beating down on the cobblestones outside. It's been about 6 days since you left Homeguard. You are still 200 miles from Port Bax. You slept in the loft of a very large coach station. A group of green-clad men have arrived and are starting to clean out one of the coaches. You overhear one of them say to the other that the coach leaves to Port Bax at 1 o'clock this afternoon, and that the journey will take 7 days. You're also hungry here. Your hunting doesn't help you in Ragadorn unless you want to eat rats. Do you have any meals on you?
I don't think so. Do I?
Okay.
1 second. I have our other campaigns now, so 1 second.
Grabbing some stuff. Excuse me. Get a beautiful view of my chest.
Oh, I do have one more Womspur left.
Is a Lomspur meal, or is it a potion?
I think it's just the plant.
Okay, yeah, you can eat that as a meal. Is this the one that I think it heals you?
It's 1d4, yeah.
+2 or something? Or?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and you can eat that to avoid being exhausted.
All right, that's now
as you wake up. I think you also have a healing potion.
I have a potion.
Or did that got lost?
I think all my potions got stolen. Yeah.
Yeah. Something fell out of your backpack in the water too. A couple of things.
I still had my absinthe wine. I think they took it. Yeah.
Everything's gone.
Pretty much.
Let's do just a quick run through of your equipment. What do you have right now?
Let's see. I've got studded leather armor. I have a shield. I have a dagger, which is pretty much my main weapon now, unfortunately. Susan is gone. Cool. I have the Crystal
Susan.
Star pendant.
And is that it?
I think so.
All right.
I have the backpack, but I don't think there's anything in it anymore.
No.
Oh well, and the crest. I retrieved that thing.
The seal of
seal, yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, in that case, you've eaten, and you can you descend the ladder.
Did I get the Aether potion back, or the?
Oh, you did. I think you did get your.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you get your potion. Your.
Because I stole it back from the dude that I accosted.
This is the Dracker potion. That's what you should call it.
Oh, okay.
I can spell that.
Please. All right. Re-add.
All right. So you have descended the ladder to the streets, and now you're trying to figure out where to go next. You're right in front of the coach station, where you can buy tickets for portbacks.
Well, I have $0 anymore. I am poor.
Okay.
I'm officially destitute. So I could try and barter on as like a guard for the trip, maybe.
You one thing you see as you look around, first of all, you see a sign that says the fare to Portbacks is 20 crowns. So that's gonna cost you. But you do look around, and opposite the coach station is a narrow street leading to a well-lit gaming house that's open, even though it's early in the morning. It's already opening, and it shows. You can see that you can already hear the sounds of people having excited cries and cries of both displeasure and exultance coming out of the open door. Looks like the kind of place where you could win some money if you want.
Uh-huh.
I see that Ofex is asking a quick question. What do we do, X-Star? We'll put up the YouTube link will go up for episode 3, I think sometime this week.
Hopefully, yes, that's the plan.
Yeah, so you'll be able to see all that, Ofex. Okay, so yeah, you're looking down the street at this gaming house.
Okay, I guess I could poke my head in, see, like, what would these require, like, charm rolls at all, persuasion rolls at all? Because I don't have any charm.
We're gonna use for gambling.
What are we gonna do with that?
Let's get a little meta here for a minute. For gambling, we're gonna use rules out of Xanathar's Guide.
Okay.
Let's see if I have it right here. Basically, you have to pass a Wisdom Insight check, a Charisma check, and a Deception check, and I want to say Intimidation roll. And based on how many successes you get on those, determines how you do at the game. You could lose all your bet, you could win big.
Okay.
So you're looking over. I'm going to put you on a picture here, what you see. The entrance hall opens out into a huge room where many gambling games are in progress. And there's people playing this kind of roulette style games. There's a number of people playing various card games. You even recognize that game Portholes that you saw on the ship that was being played with dice. Mm-hmm. And you're struck like both by a slight smile of being like, remembering that night with the crew, but also then a feeling of sort of anxiety, wondering whatever became of them, mm-hmm. and sadness, remembering how you've been separated from your former companions. You're standing here when suddenly a hand rests upon your shoulder.
Okay, she's gonna turn and see who's trying to interact with her.
You see yourself staring at a pair of gentlemen. One is very kind of tall and thin. He has a very thin beard that frames his face and goes down into a long goatee. He's dressed kind of extravagantly in bright colors. His friend is a little bit shorter, a little bit stockier, and he looks a little bit. He's also kind of refined, but he's wearing openly he's wearing a sword and a sheath at his side. Mm-hmm. And he looks a little bit more like, just from the build of his arms and his body, kind of like a fighter. And the tall man says, I cannot help but see you are standing here looking on in into this wonderful environment, but you are not going in yourself. And I must ask myself, why would someone be standing here looking on in but not going in when there is so much riches to be won?
Wow, that accent.
Yeah, you can't place it.
Nope,
Maybe,
I can't.
maybe Lyria. You're not sure.
I'm just deciding where to head first.
I says, "Oh, where to head first? You mean which of the games to go to? I can help you make up your mind. You need to come with me and my companion, and we will play some amazing. How do you say? I forget what they call it in your language, but it is catch the dragon or catch the king. Catch the king. I think."
Yeah, no, thank you.
No. He says, I insist. We here. We will even pay your bet for the first round, just to have your companionship and someone to play with. I should introduce myself. My name is Mamba the Great. And this is my traveling companion Rezi. We come from lands far away. We have ventured together. We are, how you say, I am the master trickster. No, that's not a good word in your language. It is a illusion man. I am turning the water into wine. No, yes. We are very happy to make your acquaintance. Always looking for new friends on the road. You may have seen us sometime before, no?
Definitely no.
No, sadness, but also happiness, for this is a first meeting, and there is nothing like a first meeting. You only get one of them.
What's the vibe she's getting off of them? Can I do some sort of insight?
Yeah,
roll,
make an insight check.
Okay, Mamba's busy typing what in all caps.
and
Oh, that's amazing. I rolled a nat 20, so 24.
Yeah, you sense that they're exactly what he seems to be extremely open and saying pretty much exactly what he means. You don't know how much of what he's telling you about if you'd believe any if he starts launching into adventures, if you'd think that was true or not. Mm-hmm. He's probably prone to exaggeration,
right?
But you at least believe that he really does just want to sit and play,
okay,
and potentially win some money. You're a little bit like you're having a harder time reading Rezi. He's quiet. He's not saying anything. And it's maybe Mamba. Let me see. Mamba rolls pretty good. He catches you're looking at Rezi, and he says, "Oh, you are wondering about my silent companion." No, he says, Rezi does not say much. And at this, Rezi actually speaks up, and he says, "Well, Mamba, if I did say anything, and with you speaking next to me, there would be nothing left to say at all." And Mamba laughs and goes, "Ah, yes. He is so fantastic. No, yes, this is why we travel together. We keep each other the companions on the road."
Alrighty, I guess I'll take them up on their offer.
And he says, "Oh, this is most wonderful." And he leads you to a chair. You're not sure if they're known here or not, but they definitely know their way around a gaming house like this. He quickly flags over a server who comes and brings you all drinks. It seems to be some sort of strong wine that tastes just fine. You're happy to sip it if you wish. And pretty soon he's explained the rules of the game to you, and you realize that what he's calling catch the dragon or whatever is actually a very, very simple game. Well, not simple, but it's an old game called Haggis. And it's very simple to know the rules. You actually know the rules. Everybody plays it. And so pretty soon you're able to, you play a few practice rounds to get kind of into swing. And then he says, okay, and now we are doing the betting, no? He calls over a member of the house to sit in for the house, because that's how this place works. And they call a bet out from everybody, and Mamba pays your bet. He puts down two crowns for you. All right, so let me grab I'm going to step up for just a second to grab my book, and we'll run through a gambling game. Be right back.
This should be very interesting. I don't gamble in real life. Oh, good. We're getting feedback from his microphone. But I generally am ass at gambling.
Okay, we're back. So the first thing you're gonna make is an insight check to read your opponents.
Okay. As
you guys play this game. Haggis is a game of it's both strategy and bluff. It plays a lot like gin rummy, where you're trying to get cards out of your hand by playing tricks, but your other people can steal your tricks out from under you, and you can actually get yourself in a situation where you've lost too many of your cards too soon, and so you don't have any plays left, and then they can destroy you. And this is actually a real game. If anybody's interested, you can get Haggis online. It's excellent. It's really, really good if you like parlor style games. So yes, make an insight roll.
Insight. Oh, are you freaking shitting me? This isn't the Karina die, and I rolled a second 20.
Nice. What? Okay, so
what?
You quickly get a handle on how your opponents play. Mamba acts like he's going, like he doesn't know what he's doing. He throws cards wildly. He picks up cards that you don't know why he's picking up. He plays with his wild cards fast and loose, but you realize this is kind of a facade.
Right.
That he is, and he's devastating the house player with this strategy. Rezi is playing much more straightforward. You can almost guess what Rezi will do every turn, but that's because he's playing literally the best move, and that doesn't make it any easier to beat him. And Mamba keeps up a string of dialogue while you guys talk about his adventures, and the last time he had fought the beast across the wild land. It was a big old hound, and it chased me far so fast, but then you feel the edge of my rapier as it leaped at me at a final stretch of road. And but Rezi seems more focused on you, and at one point he says, "Now, I do have curiosity as to what such a young lady is doing in a gambling house at this time, with no money, and yet a look in her eyes like she has somewhere to go, and wearing armor like she knows how to wear it."
That would be because I have places to be, and I have recently come from the field of battle in, where was it? The map's gone!
I'll throw back up the map. Here we go. Summerland.
Holmesgard. Yeah, Holmesgard is under siege, and I am on my way to try and bring reinforcements.
Holmesgard is under siege. That is quite the news. Almost difficult to believe, really. Go ahead and make a deception roll. This isn't for talking with him. While you're playing, while you guys are
playing.
Talking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, deception. Oh, this is gonna suck, guys. I have +0 to deception. Yeah, that was a 5.
Oh yeah. No. You start trying to do some bluff things while you are talking, and in your distraction by Rezi's talk and Mamba's constant storytelling, you mess up badly and end up losing several of your important cards. you still see a chance to win this though by playing hard at the end of the game here.
Okay.
Make an intimidation roll.
18.
It was literally DC 18.
Oh!
I can't believe it. That's awesome. You don't get any minuses or bonuses
No,
for
it's
that?
plus 0.
Straight 18. Wow. Well, that is what you needed. You actually end up winning this round.
Yes.
You win what you bet plus half. So you end up winning. You get back an extra crown. So you end up with 3 crowns.
Okay.
And that's not enough to buy a ticket. It's going to be kind of a long series of games here. But Mamba, kind of impressed by you winning, says, "Oh no, we have found a rare player today." He says, "How about we will play the next round?" He says, we will do for the big stakes, no? He says, we will put up, what do you say? What does a ticket to Port Bax cost, Rezi? And he kind of smiles at you as he says this. And your insight roll is holding through. You've been able to read these guys pretty well. Mm-hmm. You don't think this is anything malicious, but he must have watched you watch the sign. Right. And then walk over here. So he knows what you want. Right. And Rezi says, "Oh, it is about, I think the going rate is 20 crowns. 20 crowns." And so he says, "Well, then that is what we will bet." He says, "Oh, but you are not having the crowns. What can you put up for collateral? No?" He says, I may have caught a little glimpse of silver beneath your fine neck there. Maybe that if you put on the table, we could play again.
Is he talking about the crystal star pendant or the
He's talking
seal?
about the Ragadorn seal.
Yeah, that ain't happening. I can put the potion up on. Yeah, on the table.
Do that. Yeah, you can send a potion out. All right, so you put it down, and he says, and he grabs it. He says, "Well, this will do nicely. I'm surprised you put such a thing up. The potion of heroic strength is nothing to be scoffed at." This is a Alether potion, right?
It's the Drakkar, yeah.
Yeah, so he says, yes, the potion of Alether. And what this is, he'll identify it for you.
Woohoo!
So I'm going to tell you what the potion it does. For 1 hour after drinking an Alether potion, you gain 10 temporary hit points, and you are under the effect of the Bless spell. So basically, you add a D4 to all of your attack rolls.
Ooh,
and
that's a good one.
I think ability rolls as well. I'd have to look that up real quick, but let's see. I want to say it's like abilities, saves, and no, it's attack rolls or saving throws. You add a D4 to it. So for an hour, you do that. So that's pretty good. Mm-hmm. It's definitely worth 20 crowns. All right, so you guys start another game, and this time I'm gonna make the checks for them as well. So you guys start right in. We're gonna do another insight check here.
Hey Rezi, how you doing? I'm currently playing you in cards. Alright, insight you said?
Yeah, insight. And you can
19.
Wow, really good. Okay, so once again
it's 15 with my +4 bonus, so
you notice that perhaps a little bit unfairly, Rezi and Mamba are playing like not against each other, but definitely against the house and you. And if they win the potion, you sense they will share it or share whatever they sell it for. So even though ostensibly they shouldn't be doing this, they are definitely doing that. Mm-hmm. So you start to play kind of with the house as your ally in response, and so it becomes 2 against 2. All right, let's see if you're able to pull that off. It's a deception roll next. Go for it.
Oh, my +0 deception, guys. Rosie says you'll be getting his bill for royalties. 16 deception this time.
Wow. Okay, you managed to beat the deception roll too. You use the house and actually basically put them in the line of fire for every play that Mamba and Rezi have, and by the end, really, it comes down to Mamba's pretty much out of the round. Like he's in a bad spot. He's locked himself down to a low number of cards. He has no options left. The house is also in the same spot. It's you and Rezi left.
Okay.
And Rezi looks at you and he's gone silent again, and he just kind of gives you a sly smile and then makes a play that you're not sure how to read. But give me another insight check and we'll see if you can get around this.
That is a 18 this time.
All right. You see what he's doing. He's trying to bait you into playing your cards, but like I said earlier about Rezi, he plays so well that you kind of see that this is a trap either way. If he's trying to bait you into laying down your last card so he can go out in a big string, but at the same time, you see if you don't take this bait, he's going to slowly pick away at his deck until he's out and wins the game. So you realize the one chance you have to do this is to play boldly into his trap, walk right in, and then beat him at his own game.
Oh boy.
And it's going to take an intimidation roll, but I'm going to give you advantage.
Okay.
Because you passed your insight check.
Okay. So I know what he's doing then. Okay.
Yeah.
That was a... Wait, intimidation you said?
Yes.
Oh, that's a +0. That's a 14.
14 is your highest?
Yeah. It was a 5 and a 14.
Okay. You play into the trap, and Rezi actually he masterfully plays around you, and takes the game.
No!
But he didn't win it with enough points to actually best the whole round, which means that the way the betting works, you get to basically keep your potion, and you won enough points to make 10 more crowns.
Oh, okay. So I'm at 13 now.
Yeah, so it wasn't the big win that you had, but it was close. And at this, Mamba steps up and says, "I am tired of the cards. I have seen your promise. I have seen how well you're doing. But now my heart yearns for something else. I want to see how your luck holds." He says, "Come, once you follow me, we will play a round of cartwheels and see who the fates favor most. No, it is exciting."
Where are we going? To the like one of the spinning tables or something like that? Or?
Yeah, they call this game cartwheels.
Okay.
And
so yeah, that's just pure luck rather than skill with cards.
Pure
and
luck.
Okay.
Pure luck. Mamba he claps. Rezi follows you guys over too, although Rezi says he does not believe in games of luck. And so he abstains from playing. But Mamba walks over to the table and says, "Now we put down everything. Yes, that is what makes it exciting." And he throws down, he says, "Put your 13 crowns down. I will put 13 crowns down. We will do this to make it exciting for us both." And so Cartwheel is basically a very simple game of you spin a wheel. There's like 100 numbers on the board.
Are we gonna roll a die 100?
Die 100.
Okay.
And you are trying. You get points if you fall within like 10 numbers of what you picked.
Okay.
If you pick exactly what you made, you win a huge prize. So Mamba throws down his 13 on number 88, and he says, "Throw down on something."
Let's do 22.
All right.
That's our lucky number, right? With the axe.
Roll it.
See if my luck is as good as Jonah's today. Oh, sad. That was a 93.
93. All right. So Rezi wins. Rezi ends up winning 10 more crowns. Mamba ends up winning 10 more crowns off of this. And you lose all of yours.
Oh, sad.
And he claps you on the shoulder and he says I like your bravery. He says I feel like you will go on to do great things. You keep an eye open for Mamba and Rezi on the road, no? He says, for now, our place is here, but I think yours is somewhere else. And he presses 20 crowns into your hand.
You are too kind. And I look forward to seeing you on the road sometime.
He says, I've never been called kind before. That is amazing. He says, you will see us. I know you will. We look forward to it. It will be fantastic, no?
That is one word for it.
All right, so you've been given 20 crowns.
Woohoo! Just for humoring people in a gambling house. All right.
All right, so you go out back to the coachman. Now you can you've been playing for quite a while. The coach is going to leave very soon.
Okay.
And the coachman, as you approach, says, there's only one spot left on the coach, but if you pay 20 crowns, it's yours.
All right, then I'll fork over the money and get on the coach.
All right, you gain a portback ticket, so you can mark that as a special item.
Ooh.
And this man takes you to a coach that is waiting near the east gate of the seaport. The coach, even though he says that it's all been purchased out, the other guests must be out and about the city still because it is currently empty. Mm-hmm. And you get a seat near one of the windows, which, like planes, the window seat. It's the best seat.
Ugh, no, it's not. not when you're slightly claustrophobic, but yeah.
Well, yeah, okay. So this place, yeah, I hope Lone Wolf isn't claustrophobic. I don't know.
She
is, but because the seat is comfortable, but the cabin is not spacious.
Right.
And it's going to take 7 days to get to Portbacks. So you settle your equipment beneath the seat, and you kind of you didn't sleep the best last night, so you kind of pass off into a small sleep, an easy sleep. And when you wake, there are 5 other passengers.
I'm like, that's a big difference from 20.
20 was something else that popped up on my screen. Sorry, started reading it automatically. There are 5 other passengers, and the journey to Durinur has begun. So I'm going to put up a picture of your other passengers here. Okay. While I'm doing that, give me a die 100 roll. We'll see what the fates have in store.
Oh boy, are we going to get attacked on the road?
I call this fate die.
81.
81. Okay. So you, after only half an hour, the coaches suddenly stop, brought to a very sudden stop. And you hear a commotion going on outside. Somebody's arguing with the driver.
Okay.
Do you want to do anything?
Can I poke my head out the side to see what's going on, or?
Yeah, for sure. I'm also going to pull up the picture of your fellow travelers here.
Okay, 1 second. Let me zoom out a bit here. Ooh, I like the super spooky guy.
Yeah. And yeah, their names are given as well. So, you poke your head out and you see that there are some armed horsemen. There's a light rain falling, and there's even some thunder in the background, and they look pretty ominous. They're wearing a black ship and red crest emblem. Why don't you give me I would guess that'd be maybe is there a history check? I can't remember.
Yes.
All right, give me a history check. See if you know what this belongs to.
12.
No, you don't know what this belongs to.
I feel like I've seen it before. Have we run into somebody with that before?
You may have. I'd have to go back through the YouTube and remember, but the Black Ship and Red Crest, maybe. They suddenly demand gold in payment for what they're calling exit taxes. And they're saying that exiting from Ragadorn will cost 1 crown per passenger.
Oh, Mueller says we have at the trading post.
Ah, that's right, you did. Okay. I'll give you a second roll on it then.
Okay. That was a 16, so 17.
That's enough. Okay. This is the emblem of Lachlan the Overlord. So these are legitimate soldiers of Lachlan of Ragadorn. Lachlan's like, you could think of Ragadorn as being run by a mobster.
Mm-hmm.
And Lachlan is king mobster. So, whether there's an exit tax or not, today there is.
Right.
There is an exit tax, and it's 1 crown apiece.
Yay, I have no crowns.
Yeah. So it comes to you, and the man says, "All right, your turn, lass. Where's hand it over."
Unfortunately, I spent all my funds to hire a spot on the coach.
Oh, that is unfortunate. He says, fortunately, we have a place for people like you. It's back in Ragadorn, and it's called the prisons. Why don't you get out of there then?
I'm reluctant to do so.
Let me make a quick roll here. Okay. Suddenly, one of the men in picture, it's number 1.
Okay.
The man, you haven't had a chance to learn their names yet, but his name is Ganon. And no, he's not related to Legend of Zelda.
That would be a very different game.
He leans forward and says, "I have the Triforce of power." No, he leans forward and throws another crown on the plate and says, "There's your blood tax. Now just let it be, let it be." And the man smiles like with a sickly, broken tooth smile and says, "Oh, it's my pleasure. You please be on your way." And the coach is allowed to continue. And the man who's dressed in a lot of finery, he looks like either a noble of some kind. He leans back and just nods at you as the coach picks back up and says, "Perhaps you can return the favors sometime in the future, my lad, my lady." And then he just kind of closed his eyes.
Okay. Well, that was very kind of him. I will nod back in return.
You soon cross the swollen river, and the journey continues.
Okay.
So, during the course of the afternoon's journey, you have the chance to chat with all of your fellow travelers and learn about their backgrounds. I'm going to kind of let you direct this a little bit. Is there anybody you're particularly interested in?
Who am I sitting next to?
You're sitting next to Halvork, the number 3.
Okay. But then I'll start with him then.
Yeah, Halvork is you're sitting next to Vivica.
Okay.
The number 5. My bad. So if you start with Vivica, she's definitely she speaks roughly and gruffly. She's got a very thick accent when she talks like this. And she says she's a mercenary who earns her gold by fighting for it and sells her services to the highest bidder. She's returning to Port Bax now, having collected payment for a successful adventure in Ragadorn. And she'll kind of tell you a little bit about, you get the sense she hired on with some of Lachlan's goons. They were tracking down somebody who had stolen from Lachlan, and she doesn't quite tell you how it turned out, but she holds a bag of money up high to show that she made out pretty well. It probably means the person she was tracking did not.
Makes sense. Well, there'll be plenty of work for you coming up now, I foresee.
What do you mean by that?
The Giacs are headed this way. It should keep
Eh.
us all on our toes.
GX, they're not really worth my time. They're kind of a lesser foe, you know. That's what we have Kylos for, and knights and things like that. I pick a quarry that tends to go a little underground. Requires a little bit of searching out to find my rats.
Proficient at tracking, then, are you?
Oh yes, oh very so. You may get the chance to see it even.
Fascinating.
All right. Anybody else you want to talk to?
Who's across from me? I'll go. Who's
across from
closest
you-
to furthest, I guess.
Across from you is Ganon and Dorier and Halvork.
If Ganon's sleeping, I don't want to wake him up.
The other one's awake.
Okay.
Yeah, Ganon has his eyes closed. Dorier leans forward as you talk to me. He has a very pleasant smile. He's kind of a blonde, beautiful man, like a Prince Charming type.
Right.
And he actually tells you that Ganon is my brother, and we are knights in the Order of the White Mountain, warrior lords of Durin. I'm sure you know of our order. And make a quick history check. This is pretty easy.
Does a 10 do it?
A 10 is what I needed, so
Okay.
yeah, it's easy.
Yay!
The Knights of the Order of the White Mountain are the warrior lords of Durinor who have pledged allegiance to protect their country from raids, mostly from bandits of the Wildlands. But they're like they travel the world in the service of Durinor, and they're like your classic do-gooder knights, like paladins. They're paladins in this world. They are the order of paladins that exists in Magnamund. They're known for not telling. They take an oath about they cannot tell a lie.
So they potentially make good allies.
Yeah, and thus you really believe Durier when he tells you that his brother Ganon is quite exhausted. We've just come back from fighting against the bandits in the Wildlands, but what is this you say about Giax? Giax coming our way? Is this through the Wildlands?
Is it just no? They're heading from the west to east, aren't they?
They're heading. You mean the Giax
Yeah.
or the brothers?
No,
The Giax are coming from the west.
yeah. They've Why can't I not remember the names of these cities?
There's Homeguard.
Homeguard, yeah. No, they have reached Homeguard, and Homeguard is currently under siege.
Wow, that's quite terrible news. And he says, but if they push past that, do not worry. We will be here to protect the kingdom of Durinor. Is that why you've come this way? You've fleeing from Summerland?
I'm not fleeing so much as running ahead to try and recruit old allies.
Ah, very interesting. Old allies. Who would they be?
I must keep moving to this whatever city I'm heading to. I'm like, I can see the map, I can't remember the word.
Hammerdal.
Hammerdal.
Is where you're headed.
Yes, I must
says.
make it to Hammerdal, and I am short on time.
He says, you are in luck. We also are headed to Hammerdal, my brother and me. We could ride together after Port Bax, protect you along the way. You also know that you're supposed to meet a Lord Lieutenant Rygar in Port Bax, who's also supposed to accompany you.
Oh, okay.
Just to throw that out
Okay,
there.
that is a possibility. I will think on
And
it.
then he nods, satisfied that he's done his paladin duty,
Right.
and sits back in the chair. There's two others left here. The priest Parsion doesn't seem that open to talk, You try to engage him in conversations a couple times, and he barely speaks to you. And while you're trying to get conversation out of him, Halvork, the last man, kind of sits up and says, "You don't worry about him. He's one of them redeemers from down south. They don't like to speak much. He says, "What happened to you? Get kicked out of your order? Damn priests, can't stand them." Halvork's not in a good mood. His nose is swollen and his face is badly bruised and broken, thanks to Lachlan. He had a little misunderstanding. He tells you about port taxes, which lost him his cargo and most of his gold and broke his nose. So he's escaping from Ragadorn. Not escaping. I mean, they know Lachlan basically kicked him out.
Right.
So over the course of the journey, are you telling them that you are a Kylord in any of this?
My cloak is like stuffed in my bag, if I remember correctly. Like,
I think it got stolen.
Did it get stolen? Did they steal my cloak too?
Yeah,
Those
they
dicks.
stole your cloak. We'll say you got your. We'll say you got your cloak.
I mean, nobody's gonna believe me if my cloak got stolen. Like, I have no proof that I'm a Kylord, so I'm not gonna claim that I am.
We'll say the guy who you struck down with that rock session was wearing your cloak.
Okay.
And you knocked him out. So you got your cloak back, stuffed it in your bag.
Yeah. I don't particularly know if that's something I should brag about.
Fair enough. So you keep your identity hidden. Go ahead and make a deception roll.
Ophix, I got the seal back. I did. It was stolen, I got it back. What am I making a roll for?
This is deception.
15.
I'm gonna see if any of these folks notice something up about you.
Well, not that one.
Looks like 15, you said?
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, everybody seems, they ask you a few questions, but they don't seem to dig too deep into trying to figure out your story. You're not sure if they believe you or not, but none of them seem aware of the war that rages in Summerland.
Right.
Except for the bits you tell them. And you're not even sure if they fully believe that. Vivica is saying that they would have heard something more. Halvork is concerned about how it'll affect business. The knights stay stalwart and say it'll give them people to protect. And the priest says very little. Mm-hmm. They don't seem to push you too hard. All right. At dusk, the coach stops at an inn. By the way, you have a chance to heal over this journey if you wish to.
I'm assuming at like dusk I could potentially go hunting.
At dusk you go hunting. Although you guys are actually outside of the wildlands, which is there's nothing to hunt. Very difficult to hunt out here. This is one of the few times in.
Is it a wasteland or a desert?
It is a barren kind of. The part you're going across now is basically broken, like wasteland.
Okay, because the hunting thing says you will never starve in the wild unless you're in a wasteland or a desert. So. Yeah,
it's wasteland.
Okay.
Yeah, there are plains further in, but not where you are.
Okay.
I think it even says it on the map. Shows wasteland. It does. I think so. The key, I'm colorblind, so it's hard for me to see it, but I think that says that's a wasteland color. I don't know if you can see that.
I guess it's the same color. I don't know. The key's a little weird. The key colors don't match any of the ones that are actually on the map, so.
You guys stop at an inn though. And it says the cost of a room is 1 gold crown for coach passengers and 3 crowns for anybody else. But you are...
I am super poor.
You're super poor. I'm
used to sleeping outside, so that's not necessarily a problem.
Yeah, the main thing is you're going to be hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and here it says, the Kai discipline of hunting cannot be used when instructed to eat a meal on your journey through the wildlands. It is a barren wasteland inhabited only by creatures called Sazals, a weak and cowardly breed of Giak. When you say that you can't pay, the innkeeper at least demands to see your ticket.
Mm-hmm.
And you have that. So he does it. He says, all right, well, I suppose you can go and sleep in the stable.
That is fine with me.
So as you walk towards the exit, you feel the stare of the other passengers burning into your back. It's kind of a little bit of a walk of shame. The door slams shut behind you, and you stand shivering in the cold night air. You climb to the top of a pile of sheaves of hay, and you pull your warm Kai cloak around your shoulders to keep out the chill wind. And we're going to go ahead and give me are you doing anything tonight? Is there anything special you want to do?
Not particularly.
Are you full health? You used your cure
Yeah,
stuff?
I'm full health.
Okay. Give me a perception roll.
Perception. 22.
You wake up suddenly in the middle of the night, and there's the banging of the door.
To the barn or the inn? Like, is it
to the barn?
Okay.
You hear like it's banging open, and there's a fierce wind, and rain pouring outside. And you're about to kind of roll over and go back to sleep when your sixth sense causes all the hairs on the back of your neck to stand up.
All right. Can I ready an attack? Potentially.
Yeah.
Can I see anything? Can I hear anything else? No, it's just like I'm clearly not alone anymore.
Yeah, you think there's something bothering you here.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's, you don't know what it is. It's like a spider just crawled up your arm.
Okay.
So you're pulling out your dagger?
Yeah.
Okay. You hear the creaking of floorboards downstairs.
Okay. Can I stealth my way to the lip of the thing and see what's happening down there?
Yeah, give me a stealth roll.
Stealth roll. Oh, sweet. I rolled a 19 plus 5, so...
Oh, okay. Yeah, so you totally...
I'm stealthy.
And you see a figure moving around in the dark. It's very hard to see, so you can't make out the exact shape, except that it's humanoid. And you can't make out any details, but you can see there is a blade in the person's hand.
Okay. And they're heading where? To the stairs?
They seem to be quietly pushing open the stable doors and looking around in there. And they haven't headed towards they haven't headed towards you're up in kind of a loft area.
Uh-huh. You've
climbed up a ladder to get up here, and they haven't made it to the ladder yet.
Okay.
There's a couple options for you. I mean, you can keep still, you could drop down. There's also a barred window behind you, which you could open if you wish to escape from the barn.
Do I want to try and escape? I don't think so. I could relatively easily with how high my stealth is. I've been playing this character like she's a bit too ballsy for her own good.
Yeah, your call.
Jumping down behind the guy would make noise, right?
Probably. I mean, you could try to stealth it.
Well, the thing is, I don't know who it is. I don't necessarily want to shank somebody if they're supposed to be here, but if they're trying to kill me, then...
just here to pick the stones out of a horse's hooves.
Right, with my sword. with my sword. What is that noise?
No, that's probably my door. I have it open.
Oh, okay.
It's the barn door.
It's the barn
It's,
door creaking open? Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
We've added sound effects into the game.
ooh. Oh, I need to change the music. It's like super cheerful.
Ha 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 ha.
Hang on. Let's fix this. Okay, that works better. I guess I'll try. Oh, let's see. Do I want to try and like get the jump on this guy? Because if they're walking around with this,
what is the chat thing?
Chad, do you want to see me try and get the jump on this guy, or like just wait for him to try and murder my face? Because I'm not escaping. That's not what she's gonna do. That's not what she. It's not in her character personality that I built. She's a bit of a show-off. And hey, if I shank the guy, I can take his sword.
Anybody saying anything on that?
Somebody wanted to see me evade. Wait at the top of the ladder.
Lots of different options for how to approach this.
Is there anywhere that I can like a dark shadow or something that I could hide in to like get them when they try and come up potentially?
Yeah, you could try that. That'd be a stealth roll, and then you or actually
Like a hide thing.
well, it'd be a stealth roll, yeah, like a hide roll, and then you could also ready an attack if you want to like get the
Sure.
as they come up like. And the ready to attack you'll get automatically.
Okay.
Is
Yeah,
that what you're gonna do?
let's try that. Let's try that.
All right, cool. So let's give you advantage on this because
Advantage on stealth because I know it's happening or about to happen.
yeah, like you get a moment here.
Okay, what was that one? Okay, well I'm glad I got advantage. 19 is my good one. I rolled a 3 on the other die.
And this guy is not very stealthy at all, and he's kind of he starts to head back your way and trips over a bucket.
Nice.
And makes a lot of noise. He's like, fuck. You hear him kind of under his breath mutter. And you can tell that he's wearing some sort of mask, like because his voice is muffled.
Mm-hmm.
So he's wearing something over his head to disguise himself or herself. And the person finally makes their way to the ladder and starts to climb it.
Okay.
And what are you ready?
I'm readying animal kinship. Yeah, no. I'll befriend one of the horses and we'll just like kick
a
this
rat
guy.
just runs up and bites him in the face.
Yep. It'll be good. Charms. Rat swarm.
Yeah, I mean there are horses in here. If you have something clever you want to do with the horses, you could always use your animal kinship for it.
Not terribly sure that'll work. Are they still on the ladder? No, the horses are all like in their stalls. It's not like they're not walking around. I can't.
No, yeah, they're having a party downstairs.
They're just like they're just having a.
Yeah, well, it's one of their birthdays.
There you go.
He's celebrating. With
Yeah,
his
because like
friends.
if I thought about it earlier, maybe like if I could have, except I'm upstairs, I wouldn't be able to like get the horse out of the stall to kick down the ladder. That'd be kind of funny if it could though, but.
Yeah, Bonbon's baking cookies, girls. All right.
Well,
So-
they clearly, if they're wearing a mask, they don't want to be found out. They don't want me to see them. Everyone in that tavern knew I was in here.
Yeah, the innkeeper didn't make a secret of it.
No, so I'm gonna.
Shame.
Right.
Shame.
I'm gonna
Look at the poor person.
look at the poor person who, you know.
God.
So
It's
terrible.
a very classist place, this inn.
Well, you know, that's what happens when you get thefted on your trip and you lose all 26 gold that you had in your pockets.
You almost won 50 out of Mamba, but he got away clean.
He got away. Oh, I was so close to having money, guys. Dang it. That's
Blame mom. Blame mom.
Blame Mama. Mama, it's all your fault. For shame. Yeah, let's do... I'll just ready an attack, and if he's heading towards, like, if he walks past me, I guess I'm gonna try and shank him.
Okay, so he climbs up the ladder, and right when his face appears, you just stab forward.
Can I try and, like, rip the thing off the face?
You want to, like, reach for it and grab?
Yeah, let's see if I can, like, unmask them.
Oh, very cool. Yes, we're gonna do a sleight of hand check for that.
Ooh, okay.
And you're gonna get advantage on it because you were hidden, so he doesn't see it coming.
Yeah, animal kinship is actually a cantrip for me right now, or like I have animal friendship as a... Yeah.
Is somebody asking how that works?
Yeah, I have animal friendship as a cantrip now. So I can cast it, like, repeatedly all day. That was 18 for sleight of hand, by the way.
We changed some things up because of the Kai disciplines. I wanted to work those into the D&D 5 rules, so we've come up with some fun ways to what's it called? Simulate them. All right, so yeah, you rolled an 18.
Yes.
I'm gonna say that's high enough. I was going for kind of a DC like 16. So you reach up and pull the mask. And he quickly, because you now hear a man's voice, so you know it's a he, throws up his hands to block his face and kind of yells out. In doing so, he falls backwards.
Yeah, I was like, he's on a ladder.
Yeah, he does this. So you hear a loud just crash below as he lands and hits hard. And we're gonna go ahead and roll some initiatives here.
Okay. I don't... Wait, do I have advantage on initiatives?
You do.
I do. Yep, okay. That rolled off my desk. 13. I didn't roll too well.
Okay. Yeah, he gets to go first. And his first action is that he rolls to his feet and dashes out of the barn.
Okay.
Now it is your turn.
Did he drop anything on his fall? Did he drop a sword?
Let's see. Give me a die 100 check.
Die 100 check.
We'll say there was a 60% chance he dropped his sword.
So I want under or above?
Under 60. 60 or under.
Man, I keep rolling high. It was an 80.
No, so he managed to hold on to it. And he darts off.
All right. Can I guess, clamber down the ladder and chase after him?
Yeah, you can go.
Okay. Let's do that.
Okay. So it's very dark. You clamber down the ladder and get out of the barn, and it's going to be a perception roll. Roll it at disadvantage.
Okay.
Because it's stormy, it's dark. He got a head start on you.
Well, that's still a 17 with my my +4, so.
You hear the banging of another door, and it comes from the direction of the inn.
Mm-hmm.
Is our music good and creepy?
It's quiet. It's more dramatic than creepy, I'd say.
That works.
Sweeping, epic. Yeah. I guess I can head in. There's nothing that says I can't, like, walk in the front door of the inn, I guess.
Yeah, no, it's not. You must be this tall to ride the ride.
Right.
So you okay, so you head to the inn. It's also very, very dark in the inn. And you're looking around. What are you doing?
I'm trying to see if I can see where they went, or If they're hiding in a corner, if they ran up to go hide in one of the rooms, maybe they're hiding in the kitchen.
Yeah, so the upstairs is rooms, the downstairs is all kitchen and eating.
I figured they probably wouldn't run back to their room in case I was literally on their heels, and that would give away who it was, potentially.
Go ahead and make another perception check.
Oh boy. Nat 20, nat 20, woo!
All right, nice. You notice just a thin. There's some drops of blood.
Oh, so he hurt himself with the fall then.
Probably hurt himself a little bit. There's blood smears right at the front of the door. And you manage to follow them upstairs. You're going slowly. The floor is creaking under your footsteps as you slowly make your way forward, suspecting an attack at any minute from around a corner. But no attack comes, and when you get to the top of the stairs, the blood trail, I mean, it's not like a leaking blood trail. Mm-hmm. He didn't like rip bone through his leg or anything. So the trail kind of stops at the top.
The problem is I can't like follow somebody into the inn and murder them in the inn without proof that it was them, and all I have is like the mask.
Right.
So I can't really, I just wanted to like identify them potentially, but they were just generic male in a cloak and
right.
Yeah.
And clearly went upstairs.
Right. Alright, I guess I can't really do anything, because again, I don't want to, like, be accused of just murdering somebody in the middle of the night at an inn.
So are you returning to the barn?
I will. But I'll keep the mask. And I will be very judgmental of my, fellow companions. See if any of them have weird bruising on their face the next day.
It's a bit of a fitful sleep.
Yeah, it's not the girl,
reasons.
Right? It's not what's her name. So
no, and her voice is so recognizable.
Right.
It was not her voice, so you know it's not her. You sleep, but you sleep unwell because of everything that's happened. You rise at dawn, you gather your equipment, and you join the others as they board the coach. Is there anything you want to do here?
On the coach?
Yeah, just before I jump us forward a little bit.
Not really. I can't. Okay. There's nothing I can do, I don't think.
Yeah, so you join your fellow travelers. And for 2 days and nights, the coach follows the trade route across the flat, treeless wildlands. It's stopping only to allow the driver to sleep. Then, on the 9th day, give me a die 100 roll.
Die 100.
And the 9th day of your quest, by the way, not the 9th day of your travels.
59.
So, you guys are traveling. It's the 9th day of your quest. I think it's the 3rd day, I said, of your journey in the coach. By the way, by this point, you're at full health and you have all your abilities back.
Okay.
One of the wagon wheels, the cabin jars around and shakes as one of the wheels jams in a deep rut in the road. And the driver calls back that 3 of the large wooden spokes have been shattered. He's gonna have to stop and replace it.
Okay.
He says he could use some help too, if anybody can help him.
I mean, I can try. My strength isn't all that great, but I can try.
So you volunteer. The others don't seem all that willing to help. The knights are complaining that the hands are made for greater things, and the Halvork is complaining about his back hurting. Vivica says it'll cost the driver, and the priest says nothing. You jump out. And the driver's kind of like, oh, good, the little girl offered to help. Awesome. but I'll take what I can get. And he says, you know what? If you can just lever this axle with like one of those branches over there, you kind of. He says if we can get like kind of, you can just push it up, sort of like a makeshift, old school medieval jack.
Right.
Then he'll slide the spare wheel on.
Okay.
So you can do this. You're pushing down on the branch with all of your strength. When suddenly the horses rear up and race forward. Make a strength check.
Strength check.
Yeah, this is like a DC. Yeah, I'd say probably a 14.
Check or savings throw?
Ooh, we'll do a saving throw.
Okay.
Strength save.
Well, that is a 13.
Oh, just underneath it.
Dang.
So the trunk springs back. You lose control of it, and it catches you square in the face.
Ah, there you go, getting hit in the
you're
face again.
You're smacked and go down. I'm gonna roll some damage for you. Ouch! I rolled a 6. You take 6 damage.
Ow.
Yeah, this like chips a tooth.
Aw.
You're looking less pretty every day. Also, your poor head. This is like the 3rd concussion you've had this adventure. That might come into play. Let's do a quick die 100 roll.
Aww.
There's a 20% chance that your concussion's back.
Aw.
Roll high again.
All right, 69.
Yeah, okay, you're okay. But you have chipped a tooth.
Okay.
Minus
Yay.
1 charisma permanently.
Aw.
No, not that. However, the driver's not as lucky as you. The coach has run him over as he was bent down, trying to replace the wheel. His body is broken and smashed.
Oh, so he dead.
He's breathing a final death rattle.
Do I think that a cure wounds that I can cast would do anything?
It might keep him alive for a few more seconds.
Oh, so it's not really gonna.
You
Save
don't
it.
think you can? He's too badly
Okay.
damaged. He's dying actively. But he does. As you're going over to him to kind of examine this, he seems to be trying to tell you something.
Then I can cast it if it'll like heal him enough that he can actually finish the sentence.
Let's see if it does.
Okay.
It's a die 8 plus 2 for you, right?
Yeah, 1d8 plus 2.
Okay, you have to heal at least 5 points to
Okay.
keep him alive long
Okay.
enough to say this.
There's my 1d8.
If you roll really well, you may be able to keep him alive long enough to stabilize him. I'll give you that, if you roll really, really well.
I rolled a 4, so that's a 6.
Oh. So 6?
Yeah.
It's not enough to save his life.
Okay.
There may
Well,
have been a chance there.
I
but
have 3 more castings of that available.
It's just a one
Oh,
shot.
it's just
thing.
okay. All right.
One shot thing. So yeah, you cast the spell on him, but he does come back enough to give you his last words, which are no, not an accident. I saw, and then he dies.
Damn. Somebody. What wasn't an accident? The horses bolting, or the breaking of the wheel?
You have 6th sense, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Let's give yourself a free insight roll on this
Okay.
because of your 6th sense.
I rolled a 15, 19.
Yeah, you sense that it just washes over you, a sudden impression, and you know it's real because it's from your 6th sense ability. But what he must have meant was the horses running off while the wagon was being repaired. You think someone took advantage of this accident, and you sense also that it was supposed to kill you, not him.
Cool.
You're contemplating this when the other travelers who, the coaches stopped, they're piling out to kind of see what's wrong, and they come and stare in shock at you holding the dead coachman in your arms.
Mm-hmm.
And the knight, one of the knights, Ganon, the one who hasn't been awake very much, he grabs his blade and says, "What is the meaning of this?"
The horses bolted while we were trying to repair the wheel and ran him over. I mean, his body's like super damaged. It doesn't look like I ran him through with a dagger.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. And they
and I'm injured. I'm bleeding from the face because I got hit with a tree.
Yeah, are you gonna say all that?
Yeah, sure. The horse is bolted. Cool. I got hit in the face with a branch, and like.
In that case, Ganon says, "Well, then I believe you," and he sheaves his blade, or puts his blade, kind of lowers it back into its scabbard.
Miller, it's either one of the fellow passengers or somebody stalking our carriage.
And the priest is looking at the body, and he says, "We must bury him." And Halvork, as everybody's kind of prepping to prepare a grave in which to lay the corpse, he says, "Well, we can't stay out here. Wildlands around dark isn't a good place to be. I know the road to Portbacks. I could drive the coach. Any problem with that?"
Not particularly. I'm super tempted to just like charm one of the horses and ride off with them, but
you could.
It's a possibility. I might, but then they consider me a horse thief and all this other stuff. So the knights wouldn't be too happy about that. So, like, there wasn't anything obvious as to what spooked the horses to make them run forward like that?
You could do a little bit of investigation while Halvork is planning, is getting the horses calmed and
Let's see if I can see.
Investigate. What are you looking for?
I'm trying to decide if it was an outside force that spooked them, like if there's somebody that's stalking our coach, or if it came from like within somehow. But it's hard to see if it was somebody from within because there's 5 of them, so either they're all in on it or, yeah.
Right. Okay. Go ahead and make an investigation.
Investigation. Okay. Investigation is only a +1, so that's a 14.
So you're kind of talking to people about the event, and you're looking around. 14. That's not going to be high enough to spot everything. But the people in the cabin say that nobody left the cabin. The Ganon was looking out the window, trying to just gauge the progress and look across the wildlands. There was nobody else was really doing anything in the cabin. And looking around the outside, you don't see anything unusual.
So no, not really anything obvious.
Nothing obvious.
Curses. Okay. Well, I'm just gonna have to be on guard forever now.
As you're kind of investigating, Dorier and Ganon, one of them, Ganon comes up to you.
Okay.
Dorier is off with the priest. The priest is kind of nervously saying that he thinks that you're all going to be blamed for the death, and Dorier is telling him that no, that him and his brother will testify that lies are never spoken by the Knights of the White Mountain, and we will testify to this was an accident, an act of the gods. And that seems to calm him. But while he's doing that, the Ganon comes up to you. And it kind of takes you aside and says, I don't believe in accidents on the road.
I've traveled too much, seen too much. Things like this never just happen. He says, what are your thoughts on this matter?
I also don't believe it was an accident.
He says,
But I cannot determine what was the actual, what caused the event.
And why would somebody be seeking to kill this coachman? Did he anger somebody in Ragaddon?
The coachman may not have been the intended victim.
He kind of looks at you funny when you say that. And he says, what then? Who else was out there except for you?
Here's the question. Do I trust him and his brother enough? Because he's going to tell his brother anything. Like, the assumption is he'll tell his brother. Because I can show him the Kylord cloak. To prove, like, to say, like, I am a Kylord on a mission. And I have been hunted my entire way.
Is that what you wish to do?
I think so. And then, like,
Okay.
I learned to hide my identity because I made such an obvious target to the enemy.
So you tell him that.
Mm-hmm.
And he listens and kind of uses his body to shield you from the rest of the coach,
Mm-hmm.
who seems distracted. And then he gives a very, like, what you consider a stupidly obvious look over his shoulder.
Is
at
anyone
everybody.
looking?
Yeah, and then he turns back and, like, leans way too close for people trying to be not obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, listen, if things are as dire as you say in Home Guard, I start to put together the true story here. He says, my brother and I can help you. The next town is Gorn Cove, which I'll show you on the map.
Yeah, I see it. Yep.
He says it's a small coastal village. He says there's a coach station there. He says you can't trust most anybody there. It's populated by outcasts, thieves, and Sazals. But my brother and I, we should meet and talk. Perhaps we can use the opportunity in Gorn Cove to get away and leave this coach behind.
I'll nod and say, seeing as somebody tried to assassinate me last night, that would be preferable.
He says then,
Mueller suggests that I can also do impossible stuff to demonstrate my identity. I'm like, yeah, but I also just got hit in the face with a branch.
well, you what you can't do is dodge a branch.
Apparently not.
He says, well then, I know you have no money, but we will pay for a room at the inn, and we will take our meal with you there. And we'll talk more. Is what he's telling you.
I'll nod and thank him for his brother's continued generosity, and request that they keep my identity secret from the rest of the group, so I can try and figure out who it is, even though, like, it may be him and his brother. Like, I don't trust any of the men in this party.
So he says, so you guys move on. Presently you get the wheel fixed. Halvor rides the wagon and proves to be a very competent wagoneer.
Well, he was a merchant, so usually they have to know their way around.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. And you guys are presently on your way, and by the evening have made it to Gorn Cove.
Okay.
The brother Gannon has slipped you a gold coin, so you pay the fee for the room, and you guys all enter the tap room, which is a large. Let's see if I have a picture. It's a crowded tavern. There's an old, very out of tune piano that somebody is banging on in a corner. And most of the local villages are here. They're playing various gambling games. You recognize people playing portholes and haggis.
no cartwheels, but yeah, other games.
So I could potentially
Yeah.
try and win some money back.
Yeah, especially there's a young rogue near the main door who has 3 upturned wooden cups on the table in front of him. He's spinning them around with kind of a cool like motions of his hands. He's slamming them down in a rhythm to the piano, dancing them over his arm and back down onto the table. And then he calls out that he'll challenge anyone to point out the cup that contains the small glass marble. If you guess correctly, I'll pay you double the money you've gambled.
Well, I have no money to start gambling, so never mind.
He sees you sort of turn away, and he points to you. He says, "Lass, lass." He says, "Are you? Would you not play my game?"
As intriguing as it may be, I do not believe I have the means to do so.
He says, "You have a fine dagger at your hip." He says, "Put that down. Tell you what, if you can guess, I will give you 5 crowns."
Oh my god, if I lose my dagger, I have no weapons. Like, that is my only weapon right now. Ugh. Ugh. What do you think, guys? Is it worth it? Is it worth trying?
And I'm putting up a picture of the innkeep, who is a one of my favorite pictures, actually, in the early series. Just such a cool picture. That pop through okay?
Mueller suggested I have 6 cents. I'm not sure that would help me here, though. Oh, God. If I lose my dagger, I am screwed. Yeah, like, what's unarmed damage when you don't have, like, monk abilities?
It's 1 damage.
Oh, God. Ooh, I've been rolling all over the place today, too. Heck it, let's try it.
Okay. You do have the discipline of 6 cents. So you are going to get advantage on your roll. Basically,
Okay.
we're going to use a roll to see if you're right on
All right.
this. And the way we're going to do it is there's 3 cups. He puts a small glass marble in them and then shuffles around his hands and stuff, and then slams the cups down over it again, flips them up. There's a bunch of crazy stuff, and then places the 3 cups in front of you and says which one. So it's 33, 33, 33, and if you somehow roll 100, we'll roll again.
So D100s?
D100, but you got to pick. Are you doing the lower 33, the middle 33, or the high 33?
Middle, I guess? I'll try middle.
Okay. And you if you don't get it on your first roll, you get to roll again.
Okay.
So you're trying to roll a 34 through a 66.
Okay. No, that was a 71.
All right, roll again.
Been rolling so high with these dice, apparently. Yay! 39! 39!
Oh!
Yay!
Wow.
I saw the
Okay.
9, the double digit, like, rolled under my paper, and I was like, oh no!
So you
39,
guess it. Your 6th sense. You're about to point
so
to
close.
the right cup, and suddenly your finger pushes
like,
you back
no,
to
this
the
one.
middle.
This one.
And he seems surprised that you've managed to do this, and he seems very reluctant to give up the coin. Your 6th sense suddenly tells you that he has been cheating
Mm-hmm.
at this game. He switches the marble through a clever sleight of hand as soon as someone goes to point at one of the cups, and it's only your sixth sense that caught you as you moved over.
Right.
He's kind of holding back on the coins.
I do suggest you give me my winnings, lest everyone learn that you have been cheating your way through this game. I saw your sleight of hand.
As you say that, his face turns red, and he says, "You have a careless tongue, stranger, and it should be cut out before it does any more harm." And suddenly he lunges at you, and he has a dagger in his hand.
Woohoo! Hey, I didn't attack first, guys. It wasn't me.
He's gonna get the first hit on here. Well, no, you know what? It was you were accosting him. We're not going to give him a surprise on this. Let's just roll an initiative and see what happens.
17 for Lone Wolf.
Yeah, you're going to go first.
Okay.
And I left his stats in the other room. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
Good time to answer questions if there's any.
I don't know. Does anyone have questions? You may ask. How have I been enjoying this adventure? I have been enjoying it quite a bit. It's very different playing a solo thing than in a party, which is what I'm used to. This is actually only my second campaign. The other one that we've been running for the last 2 years was my first time ever playing D&D. So I'm sort of new to this whole thing. But I'm having a blast. I'm also just a constant pessimist, and I'm expecting my character to die all the time. Ice water.
Which if you die, there are other. We will continue the story. We'll either bring in another class like a Brotherhood of the Crystal Star,
right,
or maybe even a White Knight Paladin. Or if we want to continue with the Kai Lord vein of things, there may be ways to do so. We did introduce a couple interesting characters in the first episode,
right,
who could potentially be picked up as extra Kai Lords who, rather
than just restarting and trying, from the beginning again.
No, we won't restart and try from the beginning. We'll always continue. Okay, so he did not roll high enough. So it's your turn. He and the whole tavern just kind of stopped and is like watching you fight.
Is watching this guy like come lunging at me with a dagger.
Yeah.
Then I'll try and hit him with my dagger that he tried to steal from me.
Okay, go ahead and make your roll.
Let me double check something.
And you've got your shield on your.
I do. Yeah, shield's on the other end. This is very cheerful music again.
I'm gonna say that. Well, maybe it's like a funny fight,
Who knows?
Everybody's clapping and cheering.
Woohoo! Entertainment.
I will say your shield is not out right now because I doubt you had equipped when you were doing this.
Probably not. It's on my hip or something, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Unless you want to take an action to get your shield instead of
no, 16 to hit.
Oh yeah, you hit.
Okay. All right. So the dagger is, let's see, it's 1d4 plus Dex, which is 3. Hang on, where's my d4? Oh, there it is. I should open a blind. It's real dark in my room all of a sudden. Ugh. Ah, light. I can see now. My dice are a dark black and green, so they kind of blended into the table. I couldn't see them. Where are they?
Your luck is disappearing into your table.
No! Do I have anything else that I can... Oh, well, I have the Mind Blast. I doubt he's immune to that.
He, let me see if he is, actually. He is not.
Okay.
Well, he'll get a save on it.
Okay.
I'm gonna give a roll for him. He does succeed. He's actually immune to it.
Permanently or just this round?
Each round he'll get a save.
Okay.
He doesn't have the full immunity of some creatures. He's got more like you. Which surprises you when you reach out with your mind.
Here's a question. I forgot to heal after I got hit in the face with a branch. I had 3 left. I feel like I would have done that.
Why don't you go ahead and roll now, and let's see how many it takes to get you to full. So.
1. It took 1. I rolled an 8.
Okay,
like,
you're full.
Okay.
But
I'm down. I'm down another heal. Okay. Because I'm like, I wouldn't have just like let that sit there, but I totally.
Yeah.
I'm usually better about like remembering to heal if I have a chance.
Your 2-3 grows where the chip was.
Oh, that's phenomenal. Okay, so 1d4. Okay. So he doesn't get that one. 6 damage.
Ouch. Okay, yeah, you slice him good, and he kind of stumbles back. And then for his turn, he flicks his wrist, and you're surprised as a bolt of fire flies out at you.
Magic. Okay.
And while I'm just grabbing this, making this roll up, you've been talking about throwing these on as a podcast, right?
Potentially.
Because one thing I was thinking is, one thing I don't get to talk about in here is like how, and some people have asked on the forums, is what enemies I use for the enemies in here and how I change them up and how I decide. I don't know if we do the podcast, maybe I could throw that on at the end or something.
Yeah, we could have even do like a separate discussion where we just kind of chat about it.
He strikes you directly in the face with this for 8 damage.
Ow. Yeah,
And then,
my full hit points, guys, is only 16, so...
And then he backs up. Now there's a table in between you and him, and he's kind of trying to get into the crowd. So what are you doing?
I definitely don't like that he just tried to murder my face in the inn like that. Does anybody seem to be like interested in stopping the fight, or they're all just watching what's happening? Like, does the innkeeper seem pissed that there's a fight going on?
The innkeeper is kind of looking with his one good eye, like over the crowd, like trying to see what's going on. The crowd has formed a protective circle around you both, kind of preventing either of you from escaping.
Right.
Although he's trying to work his way into that circle and push through. They're currently kind of fighting with him. But he has his eyes on you.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try and hit him again.
All right.
I'm gonna try and hit him again. With a nat 20. Holy shit. Holy shit.
You crit.
Yes?
So you just snarl and come diving over the cup table, knocking the cups and marbles everywhere as you rush at him.
Okay. So, let's see. Do I get to roll it twice?
You roll double your damage.
Double the dagger. Okay. Is he
immune?
And
he gets a. Let's see. What's your intelligence mod?
My intelligence. Where's intelligence? It's only a +1.
+1.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he does beat you on that.
Okay. So it's just the 1d4.
Just the dagger, yeah. But you roll the dagger twice, the d4 twice.
Do I get to add the dex bonus to it twice? Just once?
No.
Just once.
Just
Okay.
once.
That is a 4 and a 3. So 10 total.
10 total? That does it. You just leap up and just bury your dagger in the side of his neck. And then as you draw it out in a slice that sprays arterial blood all over the crowd. And they're kind of like, there's a couple people laughing. There's somebody's kind of yelling out, like he's trying to press his hands to his neck and keep it there, but you did way too much damage. he lies dead at your feet.
Oh, oops.
And as he falls, just a pile of marbles kind of fall out of his sleeves.
Oh, so it's very obvious he was cheating the whole time.
Yeah. The crowd kind of seems to settle back down pretty quick. The innkeep comes up to you and says, we don't like cheaters here who aren't good enough to not be caught. Any money he had on you is yours, minus 3 for the cleanup. And he kind of digs around in the guy's pockets and pulls out 3 crowns.
Right.
Go ahead and roll a d10.
A D10.
Let's see how much he had on it.
Okay. Alright. He had 6.
Times 3. So he had 18 crowns.
Ooh, bad months.
3 are taken, so 15 goes back to you.
Alright.
And you can take his dagger if you wish.
Yes. So I can always use it to barter it.
He didn't seem to have anything else interesting on him. Let's see. Nothing else interesting on him. Looking at some loot tables here, and eventually the others drag the body outside. Gannon comes to pretty quick, and he's like, "Way to not draw attention to yourself. What are you doing?"
He attacked me first. I'm not gonna let him kill me.
You clearly instigated something over there. Listen, it doesn't matter. He's like, I just keep your cool until tonight, please.
She'll nod and laugh a little bit, like not intending to cause havoc. It just seems to happen.
Gannon presses a key into your hand. He says, "Innkeeper says yours is the red door, number 2," and he points to up on the balcony, and you can see the red door. Mm-hmm. Everybody else has paid their crowns, they've collected their keys, and they're kind of making their way across the tavern floor. Vivica claps you on the shoulder and says, "Good show, good show." And she says it in her crazy accent, where she's like, "Oh, good show, good show." Halvorn, sorry, the merchant says that everybody should make plans for tomorrow. Suggests we meet here at the bar in an hour after supper. Decide what we do. So, if you have nothing else to say to anybody,
Not particularly. Yeah, I'm good.
okay. In that case, you go on upstairs, and it's not too long before Gannon and Durier appear, followed by, or they're carrying a trays of hot food.
Can I repay Gannon the 2 or 3 coins that he spent on me for the rooms and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you just take them off your crowns. He'll take them back and say, "See, it pays to pay it forward." And he says, do not worry about the meal. That one's on us. Compliments of us.
God, I hope it's not poisoned. I'm so tired of being drugged every time I eat something.
So, yeah, the food is placed in front of you. They sit down. There's a small table in your room, and they start to eat. It's basically like hot, fresh bread, a bowl of stew, and there's even, to your surprise, a small green salad that's on the side of it.
Ooh.
Rare for the wildlands where not much grows.
Right.
So there you go.
Okay. So we're eating and discussing about the our situation.
Yeah. And go ahead and give me a perception check while you guys talk.
Right. Perception. That's a 20. I rolled a 16.
Okay, nice. You are, the food smells delicious. But you notice there are 3 drops of a clear liquid on the side of your plate, and another on the tray, and none on the plates and trays of the 2 knights.
Mm-hmm.
It looks like water.
It's probably not water.
Do you want to investigate it a little closer?
Yeah.
So how are you doing this? How are you investigating this?
I guess I can... Is there like a smell to it? Maybe does it have like an oilier texture? Is it not like...
Yeah, you touch it and you notice it is sticky. And you do have some medicine proficiency because of your healing.
I do.
So why don't you do a quick roll and let's see if this sparks anything in you.
I rolled a 15. 19.
19's fine.
Yeah.
Storm Eagle happened to be not just your master in weapons training, but he was a master of as you know, herbology.
Which I
Which
usually am pretty bad at.
but he also knew poisons and things like that. And you remember him telling you about the sap of the Nardern tree, which is a deadly substance used by assassins because it's its lack of flavor or scent. It looks like water and is sticky to the touch.
Okay.
And as you're saying this, or as you're noticing this, Ganon looks up and he's been talking about the path through the countryside, which he says will take you. He says that the next thing is they're going to try to get buy a horse off the innkeep, and they'll ride with you through the woods here outside of Gorn Cove and straight to Port Bax. Or they may even, and he's suggesting they may even leave the road behind and go to is that Blave or Slave?
I think it's a B.
I think it's a B.
Yeah.
Blave, and then from there up to Hammerdal, avoiding the coastal road altogether. And then he's like, "Oh, but that's right. You have to meet somebody in Port Bax." He's kind of chattering on about this when he says, "Eat up. You haven't been eating. The food will get cold." I'm doing all the talking here.
Yes, my food is inedible. It has been. It does appear that it has been tampered with.
He says, "What?
Yeah.
What do you mean?"
So I'll point out the liquid and explain, and be like, "So, did anyone touch the food?"
He turns to his fellow brother and he says, "Brother, you got the food direct, right?" And the brother says, "No, that Halvark touched it first. He was the one who actually went and got it for us."
Interesting. I have a feeling we may not have a coach to ride in the morning.
He says, and Ganon turns and says, "Listen, if it is Halvark who's the murderer, then we have to strike now. Before he gets another chance at this."
Do we have enough proof to properly accuse him? Because so far all I have is a mask that could belong to anybody.
He says, "You don't need proof." He says, "You have the words of the knights at your. We do not lie, and we're known for that. We will tell them what happened."
Oh God, I'm so afraid to trust anybody. Oh, this game. Okay.
He says, and Ganon gets up and he pulls the tray of food up and opens your window and throws it outside. He says, "Let's just get rid of that, shall we?"
It's probably the safest thing to do.
And he says, I can't believe that Halvork. He says, I wonder what would be in it for him. And his brother says, well, he did lose all of his money in Ragaddorn. If there was a price on the Kylord's head, then that would replace everything he lost for sure. The Dark Lords would pay highly for the head of the last Kylord.
Yeah, it's not like I saw wanted posters of my face around the town, though, but maybe their underground network.
And he says, there's no telling what tricks they have. He says, maybe even Halvork did not work alone.
That is a possibility. Shit. I have no idea what to do. There's so many possibilities. I'm just like, crap, okay. Do I...
Well, some
just
obvious
go out
options.
and try and murder this guy just straight up?
You could also flee. You know, you could get on. You could try to get that horse and just leave. You know, you could say screw it and deal with it in the morning.
Try and sleep and see if I get murdered in my sleep. They could try faking my death, is the other thing, to see if, like... I don't know, that would, like, cause a commotion in the morning, though it wouldn't really do anything if... Unless maybe he looks super happy to hear that, like, something happened to me in the night.
I mean, but then what? You're gonna show back up and be like, I'm okay. Or
I'm fine, I'm gonna murder you now.
Play
like,
dead all the way to Hammerdell.
Play dead in the back of the coach the whole way.
Yeah. Just renounce good and be like, I am a member of the Dark Lords.
I don't think that's an option. That is a good idea. We could demand to search him, see if he's got, like, a vial of that crap on him or something. Yeah.
Okay, is that what you want to do?
We could confront him and search him. Yeah.
All right. So the knights say that sounds like a good idea, doesn't it, Doria? And Doria's thinking, he's like, well, I suppose with the three of us, he wouldn't have anywhere to run off to. All right, I suppose we could do that. Yes.
Okay. Also, can I heal up again?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Because I'm at 8 HP right now. Let's see, that was a 4, 6. Okay.
All right, so you guys exit your room. The tavern's still loud downstairs, even though it's getting into the evening. Now people are eating. There's someone has started up a cup game using the dead trickster's marbles.
Good. I'm glad they got some use.
So yeah, he seems to be trying his hand at it. He doesn't seem to be doing as well. He keeps losing. People keep seeing where he put the marble. But you find your way about 3 doors down. There's a green door, and the knights knock, and Halvork's rough voice says, "Who is it? Try and get some sleep here. What's going on?" And they tell us, "Oh, it is us. We had to share something with you. Some new thoughts about the caravan." And he has them come in. So you guys all enter, and Doria, it's a small room. Mm-hmm. He doesn't have much money, so it's basically a cot, a large window, which is nice. The moon, the full moon tonight is shining through, and then there's not much else in here. Like he's ate his meal in the tap room. He doesn't have a small table like you do. He's got a couple bags that probably contain his goods and stuff. Doria closed the door and kind of stands in front of it casually. Mm-hmm. And Gannon looks at you to see if you're going to say anything.
Does he look surprised to see me at all?
Mm, roll an insight.
Like, or uncomfortable, or... 15.
No, he doesn't seem like too surprised. I mean, he seems a little bit surprised that, he doesn't look like he was expecting you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't seem uncomfortable.
Okay.
He's like, so what's this about the caravan?
I was informed that you acquired the food for us tonight.
He says, what? What food?
What food?
And Gannon looks at Duria and says, okay, well, I guess we've found our rat here. He says, not so smart of you to tell a lie right off the bat. And he pulls his blade and puts it at Halvork's throat. And Halvork looks like completely stunned. And he says, he's like, Duria, check the bags.
Is it one of the knights here who's just full of shit and is just lying the whole time?
And Halvork is stammering out what are you doing? Like, what are we even talking about here? And Dorier's going through his bags.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'll tell him somebody tried to poison me last night. Or, tried to poison my food. And according to these fine gentlemen, you handled the food before they did.
He says that's I didn't poison. I don't even what is that? I don't even know where to begin. I've been in the tap room eating. Your two friends ordered food for three. I don't know what to say. And Gannon's yelling at him that he was sitting right next to the food. He was right there before they came and got it.
Did you see anyone touch the food?
And Durier suddenly stands up and says, "Oh, and what do we have here?" And he holds up a vial.
Okay, so either these two knights are working together. I'm like super suspicious now. Oh God. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know what to think. I don't trust anybody.
What are you doing?
Can I roll some sort of an observation on the brothers again? Because they passed the first check and clearly they believed what they were. Yeah. Are they?
Yeah. Go ahead and make an insight.
Okay. 21.
No, there's something wrong.
There's something very wrong.
There's beads of sweat running down their faces, and they keep darting glances at each other, and Durier is staring at you intently.
What? Interesting. Do I confront them about it? Because they're expecting me to be like, oh, it's this guy. Let's shank him. Because it would be easy if they had it, they could slip it into his bags while they were rummaging. Because they're the ones searching. I didn't do the search. All right, I'll look at them and say, why do you look so uneasy? I guess.
Hay says, because we're here with a murderer. What? This is not the time for such questions. We need to figure out what to do with him.
Something about this is wrong. Something, yeah. If Halvork is innocent, he gets killed, and then I get shanked later by people that I thought I trusted. But I don't trust anybody.
Are you saying that?
No. Like this is my internal monologue. Is like if I let them kill this guy and he ends up being innocent, then I killed an innocent, potentially, or had stuff to do with killing an innocent. These guys are claiming they're part of this knight thing. They passed the first thing, so maybe they are, but maybe they're just like shitty knights and just lie because they don't actually believe in the oath or something. Or somebody got to them, or maybe they're part of like one of these things that can transform. I don't friggin' know anymore.
All right, what are you doing?
Oh. I don't know. What can I do? I want to just like flat out attack them. Halborg's not going to help me in combat at all.
Yeah, you can draw your weapon and attack. They look formidable.
Yeah, no, it would be a very tough fight.
Let's see if they notice your hesitation. Go ahead and are you trying to hide it?
I mean, my deception's shit.
Go ahead and roll a deception anyways.
Mueller suggests that I could maybe use my sixth sense to tell if attacking is a good idea, or my augury. I don't know if it'll work that way.
You could. I'd say it's a tense enough moment. You could. Auguries usually like take some time to cast. That's the only thing, is you're supposed to be able to kind of like sit and use it. You could. I mean, you could assess their abilities by trying to make like a perception check. What'd you roll for your deception?
Deception was 16.
16. They don't seem to have noticed that they don't seem to be reacting to your hesitation.
I guess I could try perception, maybe. I don't friggin' know what to do. I'm genuinely like at a loss here.
Make a perception check.
I'm gonna die. That was a critical fail.
Yeah, so you are caught off guard when Gannon suddenly drives his blade forward into Hallmark's throat. And then pulls it free, and you're kind of just sitting there stunned. Poor, very bad perception roll.
Yep.
You're just like you now. You're just stuck there, not sure what to do.
Yep.
And Gannon just kind of smiles at you and says, "Wait here." And then he walks outside, and Durrier says, "You really should not have killed him in front of us. Now our nightly duty is to strike you down." And then you hear Durrier or Gannon calling out.
It
"Murder!
was.
There's been a murder!"
Except, like, it's the difference between a dagger and a sword, though, because he was holding his sword. So, like, if people actually bothered to look, the wound's too big for it to be, like, my weapon.
Yeah, except that these guys being in either being knights or being in the guise of knights.
Right.
You're not sure which. Will you know though that it will their very appearance will basically be a ask questions later sort of deal. And this seems to belie as you hear weapons being drawn even from here. And hear the cries of God,
I'm so screwed. I'm so dead. Can I? Oh, no, there's a window.
There is a window.
See if I can jump the frick out of the window, charm a horse, and get the fuck out of here.
All right. So
I'm done. I'm done with the shit.
Here's your shot. We're gonna make we're gonna do an initiative roll real quick, just between you and Durrier. And I will take a quick moment here to say, for anybody who's been a fan of Lone Wolf, they'll know that I've changed who the murderer was from the book. That was to also give any listeners a chance of just to be in to not know the mystery ahead of time.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who are thinking, wait a minute, that's not how it goes in the books. No, it is not. It is a different person in the books. But we've all read that book so many times that I wanted to mix it up.
Mueller says that he was surprised, and Opek says, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck is he doing?
yeah. It is a little obvious the way the book presents it too. I mean, maybe not to my 12-year-old self, but as an adult, it's kind of like, oh my god, like you're beating me over the head with who it is. So I changed quite a bit about this section.
Well, to be fair, I never really trusted these brothers, and the only person I was like, yeah, they didn't try to kill me was the woman.
Yeah. In the original books, I won't tell you who it is. That way, if anybody hasn't read them and wants to, they can see for themselves who it really is. Here we go. Make an initiative roll.
Okay.
Never mind. He critically failed. You're gonna go first.
All right.
Not that you can fail on initiative, but there's no way you'll roll as low as him. So, you actually get the drop on him. He's smiling at you, and you kind of tilt your head and smile back, and it dart past him and jump through the window.
Yay! I'm out.
It is the window is weak glass, thankfully, so you crash through. You are going to take a hit as you land on the ground.
Okay.
Oof, it's a really bad landing. What's your total life?
14.
You take 9 damage.
Oh, yay! I have one more Healy thing I can do.
So you smash into the window and take damage from that, and then just crash down into the ground.
Good God. Okay.
Like twisting your ankle, but despite the pain, you get up. And night has fallen. A full moon casts a bright light upon the village around you. And you are basically behind the tavern. You can see a small wheelwright's shop, and there's 2 horses hitched to a hay cart there as well. So your easy options are you could try to hide in the shop, you could try to hide in the cart, or you could just take the horses and go.
I kind of just want to take the horses and go.
They're nervous, but you do have
animal friendship.
Do you want to try to use it?
Let's try and use it.
Okay. So go ahead and give me... It gets to make a wisdom saving throw, or else it's going to be charmed by you, this horse.
Okay.
Probably not. What's your say? You have a DC for your spells. What is it?
Oh shit! Did I ever actually figure that out? I don't have it written down.
It's usually 8 plus proficiency plus, I want to say for ranger, it's wisdom. So basically 10 plus your wisdom mod.
Sorry, it's 10 plus my wisdom mod? Oh,
yes.
No, spellcasting is 8. Yeah, 8 plus my proficiency bonus plus wisdom. What's my... Oh, proficiency. Okay.
So it's your wisdom? So, yeah, what's your wisdom?
So it's 12. Yeah.
Okay, he did not make it. That's not great high, but he did not make it. So you can run right over to him. You've charmed one of these horses.
Yay!
You gonna take it?
I'm gonna take it.
All right.
I'm taking a leaf.
It is a brown horse with a white stripe down its nose and sort of a grayish underbelly. And you mount up on this horse and spur it along the twisting village street. You can hear the cries behind you, but you are gone before anybody really knows what to do. You're across a wooden bridge, and you ride up a steep path towards the crest of the cove. In the light of the moon, you catch a glimpse of a signpost pointing eastwards. And I will throw that up real quick. This is, if you need a quick break, this is a good spot for it too. If not, we'll keep going.
We're planning on going to 4, right?
I believe so. There's a really good stopping point for this book, so I think I'm gonna try to make it to that, which might push us to 4:30, but it would set us up good for next time. I don't know. I don't know what your
Then I
plans
think
are.
I'll take like a 2-minute break here.
Okay, great. Are you back? Hello?
Yeah, I'm back.
Sweet. I'm just gonna run and grab some water real quick, and then we'll start again.
Alright, Mueller, let me message Jonathan your questions here. Sorry, he doesn't have my Twitch stream up when he's doing this because he doesn't want people to influence what he's doing. So I'll just drop this in here.
Anything for me?
Yeah. I'm
Okay.
gonna just drop them into
Great.
the running chat there.
Yes. It actually, is that Neusmuller?
Yeah.
Mueller? How you say that?
I'm
If
not
you go
entirely
back
sure.
if you go back and listen, Mueller, at the, I'm going to call you NM so I don't mess up your name. If you go back, NM, and listen to our first episode, which is up on YouTube. I guess
Weissmuller.
Weissmuller, okay.
Yeah.
Weissmuller. If you go back and listen to episode 2, actually, it gets to the end of book 1, and we did throw in that change. We mixed it up a little bit because that fight in the book is insanely deadly, but ours ended up being really epic. I won't give anything away, but it's a pretty crazy fight. So yes, we did change that. And I've put in a few other changes here and there, most of them character stuff, like working in, obviously Mamba and Resnick are not in are not in the original. So, but I have fun once in a while with stuff like that.
Alrighty.
All right, are we ready to go?
I think so.
Cool. So there should be a picture up.
Yep.
It might be very tiny, I don't know, but
It's big enough. I can see it.
Cool. So you have a chance here to heal yourself as many times as you have left, if you wish.
I got one. He also says, I was wondering if you took inspiration from the new version of Flight from the Dark, is what I meant.
Oh, I did. I don't have access to the books. You're right on that. But I did, being part of the community, I was given some previews of the book, and it happened to include all of the new sections before it came out. So I did know about that section and got to see how it looked in its original form. I don't know how it ended up in its final print form. I really, really would like to get all the new books, and I'm hoping they republish them. There was kind of a infamous mess around the first publishing of the new books when Mongoose was handling them, and I ended up not being a part of that piece, but I would love to get them someday. The only new book I have is I think I have it behind me somewhere, the signed copy of the last book that he wrote, and that is a prize of my collection. It's just kind of awesome to see Joe's name there on the page. Okay.
All right.
So we are okay. So you can cure if you want. I assume you want to.
Ooh, chainmail. I do need better armor. Sorry, say? Heal.
I assume you want to heal, so.
Yes. From my 5. Oh, goody. I rolled max heals. I'll take that.
So what are you at now? Sorry, I'm leaning to the side here.
Currently 15 until I get to sleep and, reacquire my healings.
Okay, cool. In that case, you do ride all night without sleep, just because you want to get as far from the town as possible.
Right.
This is going to make you exhausted.
Yay!
So you have a level 1 exhaustion, which is
Yay.
disadvantage on ability checks. So this doesn't affect combat, but this affects things like climbing, perception, survival, anything like that. However, speaking of survival and hunting, as the dawn breaks, you are greeted by a startling change of landscape. The barren wildlands have given way to moors and waterlogged fens, and a dark shadow runs the length of the eastern horizon for as far as the eye can see. This is the Durner Forest, the natural frontier of the Mountain Kingdom, where it borders the untamed wildlands, and it is indeed a welcome sight. You are no more than a day's ride now from Port Bax, but you are tired after your night ride, as we've talked about.
Mm-hmm.
However, you can stop here now and use your hunting skill
To get some food.
trap a wild moor rat or a marsh bird for your breakfast.
Sounds good.
And we'll just say that
Rest
happens
the horse for a little bit.
Yeah. So this keeps you from getting 2 levels of exhaustion, which is good. Then you remount your horse and you ride for another hour until you come to a fork in the road. So on the map, you are somewhere around here.
Okay.
There is no signpost here, but you can either take the left fork or the right fork.
I haven't used Augury yet. Let's use it towards the left fork if this is where I'm supposed to go to meet the dude.
You want to see how it looks, huh?
Yep.
Okay. So you sit for a minute and call upon your sixth sense powers, and just concentrate on this road, and you sense that it is quick. The quick way to Port Bax, but there is danger. There's actually a great danger on this road.
Oh, God damn it! Are they trying to like spring an ambush on me, or?
You don't know. You get a definite hit of like a danger. Pain. It's almost painful in your chest.
Probably shouldn't go that way then, because I have no more heals.
Your decision.
Yeah, let's go the longer way then.
All right. So you ride off on the right, and after a few miles, the track becomes tangled and overgrown until all trace of it has completely disappeared. The riding becomes slow and difficult as you strain to avoid the bogs and potholes of the moor. After several hours, you reach the edge of the forest. And above the ferns, you notice a tall watchtower. A spiral of smoke rises lazily from a hidden chimney.
Okay. I suppose I could go approach the watchtower.
The area around the watchtower door has been cleared of foliage, and the ground here is well trodden.
Foliage?
I like foliage. Come on now. It's aluminum foliage.
This is an ongoing thing, I see.
Well, at least I've gotten over the tome.
The tomes?
Thing.
The tombs that we keep having to pull off shelves. God.
So all this aluminum foliage is cleared away from the watchtower door, and the ground is well trodden. You are looking for kind of a way to open the door, because of a lock or keyhole, when it suddenly swings open, and standing before you is not a familiar face, though he wears familiar armor and surcoat. He is wearing the coat of a knight of the White Mountain, and he has a broadsword held in front of his face. And I'm going to take a quick stop here just to show you something so you can see what these surcoats look like. This picture is from the original book where it showed all the people at table. I changed some of the details, and that's why I didn't throw it up earlier, but there is a picture of the White Knights, which will show you what they look like.
Okay.
Anyways, while I'm searching for that, not to halt the game up, so you can this guy says, state your purpose and mark your words well.
My steel will be your answer if you lie.
So Ovix just commented that he watched a YouTube playthrough where the reader kept pronouncing copes as corpse. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because, like, you know, we're native English speakers, and I still trip up on words, especially if I haven't heard them pronounced before. Like, I'll still be like, I think this is how it's pronounced. I'm not really sure. Like, English is
Right.
weird. It's a very weird language. But yeah, I just have to laugh with things like that. Let's see. So he's asking. Okay, so I'll hail him as a knight of the White Mountains,
Okay.
so that he realizes I recognize what he is. Say,
And he nods and says and repeats, immediately repeats before you can get a word out. State your business.
I am a traveler headed to Port Bax. I have to meet somebody there, and I seem to have run into danger on the way, and I'm a little lost.
He says, so you say you're lost?
Yeah, I'm a bit lost because the path disappeared, so I'm not entirely sure where I am anymore.
He points to the woods behind you without uttering a word and says, and you get the indication that he's saying, those who are lost, go back that way. Like, he doesn't have time for you. And before you can say another word, he goes back inside and you hear the door bolt behind him.
Okay, that was weird.
The forest here is really very thick, and the undergrowth is a tangle of weeds and briars. It's going to be impossible to enter the woods on horseback. So for you to continue on your journey, you're going to have to abandon your horse.
I just got the horse.
And I realize I never put up this illustration, so I'm actually just going to go ahead and post a link to it. You can click on it and take a look at what it looks like there. But anyway, yeah, you're gonna have.
Second. Aha. Okay.
So that's like the full view of everybody there, and you can see the surcoats of the White Knights.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I mean, I gotta keep moving. So if I have to leave the horse behind, I guess I will.
So in that case, you push on through the dense forest for nearly 3 hours before you discover a track heading north, running parallel to the Rime Rift, whose running waters are over 1 mile deep. In the distance, you spot a bridge that spans the dark water at a narrow point. A small hut with a flat roof has been erected in the center, on top of which stand 2 soldiers. A sign points across the bridge, and it says, Port Bax.
Huzzah!
So you can avoid this and keep using the path, or you can try to cross the bridge.
Well, if I take the path, it's taking me further away from it, right?
The track heads north, so it's heading where you are back on this map here. Let me pull it up on my end. You're probably like right here, right there on the water. And the path's going north, so it would head back towards the main highway.
Well, the point was to avoid the main highway because I had a very, very bad feeling about it.
Yes. So you either cross here or you basically abandon this and try to make your way back to the main highway.
I'll see if I can cross. See if they'll attack me on sight or something dumb like that. Apparently, Opix says that the image was reversed in the NA edition for some reason.
Oh, that's strange. Oh yeah, he's right. It is reversed.
That Vivica was on the
weird.
left and it created a continuity error.
I never noticed that as a kid, but now that he says that, that's right. It was reversed. Interesting. I love getting trivia. I didn't remember. I wonder why they did that. That's odd. You know, in an anime, you get it because they tend to reverse it for the or manga. They would reverse it for the images, but They wouldn't
Yeah,
do
and
that in
that's
a
when they
UK
like
publication.
they say off to the left and they're pointing to the right or something goofy like that. But
Right.
you know they do that to so that it's yeah. I hated that they would flip the entire book backwards just so that you could read in the quote normal American way. I'm like, but if
Right.
you, it's easy to learn to read in the other direction. It's fine. Just do it. Just leave it in the original format.
All right, so the soldiers descend from the roof of the hut and grab their spears as they come. They start walking towards you, and as they come, one of them shouts out, "Password, stranger."
Since when do you need a password to head to Port Bax?
He says, "Since we've guarded this bridge for as long, what are you talking about? We've always needed a password. Do you know it or not?"
I doubt I can bluff my way through.
Your call.
I don't think I can try to bluff my way through the password there. And I'm no good at like spinning tails like Tyrion is.
No, you're not.
It's not one of my skills.
Any other ideas?
Are they taking a bribe potentially? Is that what they're looking for?
I mean, you can try anything. You could rip off all your clothes and be like, "Let me through."
No, that's Karina's motivation.
You could jump into the water and be like, "I'm swimming to the other shore."
Yeah, it can't stop me if I have to. Like, what? Well, why couldn't I just swim? What horribleness is the water?
It's pretty bad. The Rime Rift is a very wide river. I mean, you could get away from the bridge and try it. I will not lie. There will be strength rolls to see if you can not.
As I drown halfway down.
Yeah, it is definitely like real life river with rapids. Think about like trying to swim like the Willamette, but it's much
faster.
Yes, much faster.
Yeah, the Willamette's just kind of like the super lazy river.
yeah. Maybe more like the Columbia.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's really weird that there was like this one guard tower that was like cleared out but the way to get there is super overgrown. Like that was really weird. It's really weird now that there's guys on this like what the hell's going on in this world? Like none of this makes sense.
Well, the forest, I mean, this is not like Summerland, but Summerland relied often on the Kai Lords to protect the forest and the woods. Here, they've clearly set up guard towers and bridges and guards periodically. You do know, I mean, from living in this world, that Durinur is a land that's very they're very suspicious of outsiders. They've survived by, through the power of their knightly order, and by the fact that they are sort of difficult to get through and to. And they live right on the border of the Wildlands, which is, full of bandits and monsters, so they don't trust easy.
But I'm like a 16-year-old girl on foot, clearly like exhausted.
Which is very suspicious. That's extremely suspicious.
Really?
What is a 16-year-old girl wearing armor and like bedraggled, coming through this like area alone? Like you're a 16-year-old adventuress alone. That is not normal. And you don't know what's been going on in this part of the world right now.
No, but I'm on a timeline. Ah! Damn it. I want to go back. Password to cross the bridge. It's stupid. So stupid. So dumb.
Yeah, they're looking at you very suspiciously. They seem,
They do seem completely nervous. Like, not nervous like they're gonna bolt, but just like maybe they've seen some shit recently and are not so sure about you.
Okay, so I'll say, look, I'm coming from Holmes Guards, which is under attack, and I need to keep going. I have to meet somebody. What on earth is going on that has you so
I have to go
upset?
to Grandma's house.
I have to go. It's very important.
One of them kind of, they look at each other. They're like, from Holmgard. That's a long ways to come on foot.
Well, I used to have a horse, but it couldn't make it through the thicket, so I had to leave it behind.
And the other one says, do you have any proof of your story?
Do I have any proof of my story that I'm from Holmgard?
You say you're an emissary, basically.
Oh, well, I mean, I could flash the seal and see how much they love that.
Do you want to?
Would they even recognize it?
You don't know.
Like, how well known is that thing?
Give me a history check.
Oh boy. Okay. Heck if I know. 11.
11 is not enough for you. You did not pay attention in your history.
Clearly
classes.
not. I spottily.
You know that the legend is well known in Summerland.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember. You've shown the seal. You showed the seal to First Mate Ronan, although that wasn't really First Mate Ronan.
Right.
And he seemed surprised by it, although that could have been an act.
Mm-hmm.
And the people in Ragadorn stole it, though you're not sure if that's because
they were just stealing everything, or
yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the most identifiable object I have, because the Crystal Star Pendant isn't gonna do anything, I don't think. That's just...
You gotta try it?
Sure, let's try it.
All right. So you hold up the seal, and one of the guards comes forward and looks at it, and his face pales, and he calls to his fellow. He says, Jax, come look at this. And the man called Jax runs over, and when he sees it, he like freezes in place. And the anxious faces of the two guards show they clearly realize its significance.
Mm-hmm.
So they say, okay, when you said emissary, we didn't realize it was an emissary of doom. There's been attacks in the woods. We had to be sure. There's been strange going on. We've had to man the old forts that we've left abandoned for years and years, and the old bridges, the old roads. It's been a bad time. Thus answering your question about what was odd in the woods. One of the guards, Jax, he escorts you across the bridge, and in a little ways into the woods, until you reach he says, these are the old paths I was talking about. You get to a junction where a signpost points to the east, and it says point back 3 miles. And he says, I must leave you now and return to the Rime Rift. I fear that war will soon cast its black shadow upon this land, and I am needed at the border. We all are. Godspeed to you, Sumlending. Godspeed.
And I'll wish him good luck on his, good luck. We're all gonna need it.
Awesome. You have a Kai point, don't you?
I do, I have one.
Okay, nice. So if you follow the road, then it is dusk on the 10th day of your quest.
Okay.
When you experience your first sight of the magnificent city of Portbacks.
Made it. Woo! Okay.
Like a diamond set in the green velvet shore, the towers of the city glimmer in the pale light of a waxing moon. To the north is the harbor and the formidable war fleet of the Durnese navy. To the east, beyond the moss-covered city wall, stretches the forest of Durinur, and there on the crest of a hill stands a castle tall and proud, the crowning glory of the beautiful port.
You enter Port Max through an unguarded gate in the green city wall, and you make your way through the darkening streets towards the harbor. As you turn into a tree-lined avenue, you notice the wide steps of a domed building to your right. You stop to read the brass plaque, and it says that it is City Hall. Despite the late hour, the main doors are open.
Okay. Where was I supposed to meet this guy?
You're supposed to find the consulate of Summerland.
Okay. Which the city hall is a good place to start. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And I'll see what's going on. Let's walk in.
So you go in. It's kind of a grand hall, though set right past the door is a desk. And sitting behind that desk is a kindly-looking old man with a long beard. And he's studying a huge leather-bound book that rests on a lectern before him.
Okay. Then we'll go approach him.
He looks up as you approach, kind of blinks at you and says, yes, what can I do for you at this late hour?
I am wondering where I may find the consulate of Summerland. I have business with him. Or her.
Consulate of Summerland. Oh, why, of course. It is in Allen Square, near the harbor. Turn right when you leave, and right again at the end of the avenue. That'll take you to the Red Gate. You'll need a red pass to enter, as the consulate is in the naval quadrant of the city. It is a restricted area.
How do I get such a pass?
Well, you're obviously a stranger to Port Max. That's a few indeed here who do not know the answer to that question. Where did you say you were from?
Home guard.
Oh, God. Well, that would make sense if you're from Summerland. Do they usually send such young women now as this far afield?
I am a special case.
No, I'm sure you are. I'm sure you are. Well, you'll want to see the captain of the Port Watch. The Port Watch tower is at the end of the avenue, just as you turn for the Red Gate.
Alrighty.
So, I'm gonna jump us ahead a little bit here. You eventually go through the process of finding this tower and entering. But presently, you're sitting before a Duranese naval officer who is peering at you inquisitively from behind his large desk and says, you must have pressing business in the naval quadrant to apply for a red pass at this late hour. I'll need to see access papers and proof of your commanding officer's authorization.
Oh my god, I have none of this stuff. Oh my god. I guess I can try and just be like, show him the seal again and just be like, I am on an urgent mission. There was no time to make paperwork.
Okay, yeah, you're kind of pissed off and exhausted at this point.
Yeah, I'm done. I've been hassled this whole way through. My last 5 days have been shit. Like, no.
Let's go ahead and roll a charisma check. Disadvantage because you're exhausted.
Okay. I dropped one. Let's see. Disadvantage. Oh my god, I rolled a 20 and an 18.
Wow, okay. So,
Well?
despite your rough like mannerism, and you just kind of bark out at this man, as soon as you pull the seal out, he gains a look of shocked dismay on his face, much like the guards did.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, we are going to skip the usual process here. You'll have a red pass immediately. Top priority. And it's only moments later that a red pass is in your hand, and you are leaving the watchtower and heading for the harbor guard.
Okay.
From here, it is not long before you manage to get into a pass through into the consulate. You're passed through the harbor area. It's an open square lit by the tall beacons lining the quayside. To your relief, you sight the marble pillars of the Summerland consulate there and the familiar sun flag of your country flying above it in the fresh night breeze.
Yay!
It
Freaking finally.
has been quite the journey to get here. You have survived shipwreck or I guess
Mugging.
being
More
overboard.
muggings.
Yeah. But here you are, you've arrived. And as you climb the stone steps, you are recognized by the Summerlending guards on duty at the main door. They disappear inside and quickly return in the company of a tall, gray-haired official. His anguished expression suddenly changes to a smile as joy as he beholds your ragged Kai cloak and tunic. Because I think you're wearing that now, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I never took it back off after I slept in the barn.
In the
I don't
barn?
think. Yeah.
Hope beyond hope. Thank the gods that you live, Kai Lord. The scant news that has reached us from the west has caused us great alarm. And at that, you are ushered inside and taken immediately to the envoy of Summerland, Lord Lieutenant Rygar.
Woohoo!
So, Lord Lieutenant Rygar is something of a shock to you. You maybe, I don't know what you were expecting. What were you expecting for the consulate?
I wasn't expecting anything.
Then in that case, you weren't sure what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
But you weren't kind of expecting a armored knight in heavy chainmail standing before you.
Yeah, that would be a little unexpected.
He's pretty buff guy. Looks very capable, tall and handsome, younger than you thought he might be. He, born of a Summerlending father and a Duranese mother, Lord Lieutenant Rygar has become something of a legend in this city of Portbacks. In the last decade, he led an alliance of the nations to victory against the invading ice barbarians of Khalt. Wise in peace, fierce in war, you could not have wished for a better company on your quest for the Summer Sword. First thing Rygar does is he orders that a sumptuous meal be served. It is by far the best food you have tasted since the war began.
Yep.
During the feast, I think you've mostly been eating leaves.
Pretty much leaves. I think I had bird one morning and then I think fruit one day.
I think when you got Susan, you were handed some fruit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna basically give you a long rest.
Okay.
Because during the feast, you recall the events that have brought you to Portbacks, and you reflect on the daunting challenge that still lies before you to make it to Hammerdal. But during this time, you're eating. Rygar sends for his personal physician, who attends to your wounds, and his potions restore you to full health. And then you get a chance to sleep, Rygar telling you that you will leave in the morning for Hammerdal. Rygar also gives you, if you'd like it, a short sword.
Oh, thank God!
He says that I do not have much equipment, Lord Wolf, but we can spare some things, and I believe you walking around with a dagger for protection would not be maybe the best idea if we run into trouble on the road.
It has been... It has been a perilous adventure that has cost me my equipment twice over.
He says, well, in that case, better your equipment than your life twice over.
Indeed. So that's a 1d6?
It is, you're just going to be, the short sword?
Yeah.
That's a 1d6. It's got finesse and light. So finesse means it can be used with your dex.
Okay.
For your attack and damage.
Okay.
And light, of course, means you can dual wield it with your dex.
Dual wield again, yay!
You'll have to put your shield away on your back and or on your hip.
And take extra damage.
Bonus. But you can now, you have a bit of a tactical choice now you can make.
Right. I have options.
Early the next day, you're taken to an enclosed garden at the rear of the consulate. Oh, by the way, picture. Sorry about that. You're taken to an enclosed garden at the rear of the consulate, where Rygar and 3 of his best soldiers await you on horseback. They're going to be your bodyguard and guides on the 230-mile ride to Hammerdall. The streets of Port... Yes.
One second. Ofex is, did you ever replace your backpack? The PA notes that to assume you're given one if you don't have one already. I picked up a small backpack that has 6 slots instead of 8.
Oh yes, so yeah, at this point you can be given that will be replaced with a full pack.
Okay.
You have 8 slots.
7, 8, got it.
Perfect.
All right.
Thank you to Ofex.
Appreciate it, man. Not that I have anything to put in it yet, but you know.
The streets of Portbacks are just beginning to come to life as you ride through the town. Passing under the moss-covered city gate, this is the first time in a while that you have some confidence that your mission may succeed. It probably won't last long.
It probably won't last long at all.
Probably won't last long.
No, not at all.
Roll a die 100.
A die.
We're gonna get back to the fight.
Oh,
the fate dice.
God.
We love our fate dice.
Oh god. Do I want high or low?
It changes. There's no good or bad.
Okay. Well, I rolled a 44.
Oh, that's terrible. That's the only terrible thing you could have rolled.
No!
No, that's fine. Let me pull up a picture here of our Lord Lieutenant Rygar, if it uploaded. I hope it uploaded. Yeah, it did. So everybody can see it. Okay, that's loading, so I'm going to keep going. So you rolled a 44?
Yep.
All right, for 3 days and nights, you ride along the highway as it follows its route up the river valley of the Duranon. In the distance, you see the peaks of the Hammerdall Mountains, one of the highest ranges in all of Magnamund. They're majestic and snow-topped, and the capital lies at the very center of them. So that's kind of one of the reasons Hammerdall has done so well. Whoops, there we go.
Ah!
I don't know if you...
I was resizing and you blew it up and I'm like, oh
Okay.
god.
My mouse was stuck on it. I don't know why. So Hammerdall is surrounded by a ring of basically these mountains. So that's been its major protection through its centuries of being the capital of Durinur.
Does anyone who is the artist for this book?
Gary Chalk. He
Okay.
did the art as well for Redwall.
Okay, I don't think human proportions are his forte. Because something's
Careful there. He has quite a lot of fans.
something's really off about the proportions on the anatomy. I'm not saying it's definitely stylistic, and I think it fits for what the book was. But I'm just kind of like, there's something wrong.
There are definitely better images than others. I mean, I love his artwork. I think it's, it really speaks to me of that time period and that place, like in fantasy art. Like you just don't see this kind of work anymore.
No, it's definitely like something you'd see a lot in certain time periods with certain types of books and stuff. So I'm familiar with them. But looking at him now, I just kind of have to giggle sometimes because I'm like, there's just something real weird about the proportions on these characters. And okay.
I absolutely love that picture of the innkeep. I have stared at that for so long when I was a kid, like the rat on the post, just the way the innkeep's drawn. Like one thing I do love about Gary Chalk's work, like proportions be damned, is just how expressive it is.
There's a lot of detail. The faces have a lot of expression. I mean, he includes a lot of stuff to look at for sure. I just the way this arm and the shield. No.
Yeah, for sure. I will give it to you, but yeah, no, I just love the way that in a single picture you convey so much just like emotion.
For sure.
With very little, it's kind of amazing to me too that he drew so much art for these books. I mean, so much. Like you're not seeing it all, but like there's got to be like 100 little illustrations for every book, like little ones, maybe not giant pictures like this, but just the amount of work that went into it is kind of impressive for like nowadays
just how expensive that is and how hard it is to find books like that.
Right.
But no, it's fair. It's fair. His there's a picture coming up, I think, where the proportion really throws me off. But
Yeah. All right.
all right. So we're on the morning of the 14th day since you left Home Guard. You make camp near a waterfall where the fast-flowing Durnan drops over 120 feet in a roaring crash. You're about to leave. You guys are wrapping up when suddenly you're looking up at the highway, and give me a perception roll.
Oh boy. Perception, how you doing today? 16. We're doing okay.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You don't know how you didn't hear them, but you notice now that there are 6 hooded riders coming out on the forest highway above, and they're blocking your exit from the camp.
Have they seen me, obviously, or?
That's really funny from Ofex, because Ofex thought the innkeeper was the assassin. That's so funny. I thought so too when I was young, especially because in the book he's the one who brings you poisoned food.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, it's the innkeeper. I was really disappointed when it was like, you can't go kill the innkeeper. Because
not an
he's
option.
got that eye patch and he looks so sketchy and he brings you this food and he's like, compliments of your friends. I'm like, oh my God, it's this guy. That's really funny. Okay, so anyways, yeah, you look up and there's 6 hooded riders blocking your exit from the camp.
Have they seen me?
They seem to be looking down. You don't see faces.
And they're hooded?
Yeah, seeing if I have a picture of this. I don't yet. But yeah, they're hooded.
Okay. What does my sixth sense say? Can I use augury?
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Give me an insight roll here. And give me advantage on it.
Okay. $15. No, I didn't roll too great there.
That's all right. That's just enough. Your mind shoots you a picture of this.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad.
Yeah, you just get a flash of that.
I don't like that at all. Okay.
Rygar is coming forward on his horse, demanding that they let you pass, adding that you bear royal dispatch, and he's willing to show it to them if they part way for him.
Can I call out warning, like a warning to him?
Yeah, you totally can.
Yeah, then I'm gonna warn him that something is terribly wrong.
All right, you call that out. Yeah, he's a little way away from you.
Yeah.
So you call it out, and upon hearing you call out, this image happens. One of the riders jumps down from his horse and pulls free a black staff from beneath his robes. He is pointing it at Rygar, and a fierce blue flame suddenly erupts from its tip and hits Rygar's horse directly in the head. And the horse's head is engulfed in flame.
Well, at least it's just the horse.
Rygar is tumbled off the horse, and he's head over heels falls into the dense undergrowth. And at this, his men pull free their blades and rush forward. And you're trying to call out that they should fall back. They should fall back because you recognize these creatures as Helghast.
Oh God, we don't have anything that can kill them, huh?
The blades seem to go right through them.
Oh God, what can kill them? Oh God, do we just run?
While you're standing here, the cloaked staff bearer gives a hideous cackle,
Mm-hmm.
and it gets louder and louder in your mind.
I have mind shield.
You do have mind shield,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to give you advantage on this roll.
Yep. Well, I have advantage.
Oh, there we go.
That's what mind shield does.
and it's intelligence.
It's intelligence. Okay, it's just an intelligence roll.
Yeah, he's going to try to hit you with a blast here.
14.
Ooh, he actually breaks through with this.
Damn.
Yeah, he gets you with, this is basically for those who know D&D, this is essentially he's hitting you with like a vicious mockery kind of psychic effect. Only instead of mocking you, I mean he is with his laughter, but it's actually peeling away at your mind. You are going to take. It's not too bad here. Yeah, because of your mind shield, you managed to still fight off the worst of this.
Okay.
You only take a single point of damage.
Woo! Okay.
So lucky to you. However, you sense that he is still trying to attack through your mind, and the
Right.
attack is getting stronger.
Okay.
So you have a couple options here. There's really only two ways to go. You either have to run through the like abandon your horse and just dive for cover in the underbrush, kind of where Rygar fell, or you can try to help his men.
I mean, what could hurt them though? If like regular weapons aren't doing anything, is it like can we steal one of their weapons and use it against them? Maybe would that work?
It's possible if you can wrest it away from them.
Man, too bad I don't have my staff of insect swarm.
Maybe your other character can send it.
Right, just send it through the teleportation vine here. I mean, what can I do? I don't
I mean,
really
you
have
can flee.
I
You can
flee and just abandon
Yeah.
everybody. I don't really want to do that. I don't like my character's not. I mean, yeah, she has a
Happy about
mission,
letting everybody die.
but she doesn't like having that happen because she's actually kind of a good person. Shit.
Yeah, and there's 6 of these.
Oh God, there's 6 of them.
Yeah, we're gonna let's go ahead and roll initiatives.
Okay. $18.
Yeah, you get to go first. So you're still. Oh, and let me roll for the soldiers. Okay, so it's gonna go you, these creatures, and then the soldiers. So
I guess I could try to like sleight of hand the weapon out of them or something. I don't know if that would work at all or.
like a disarm attack.
Yeah.
You could like try to wrest the weapon free. It's gonna be strength checks.
Okay. I mean, because my thought process is that if regular swords and daggers don't do anything to these things, our options are to get murdered or run, or we can try the slim thing that maybe their own weapons can be used against them. I mean, you know, if it works, awesome.
I can't say.
I know.
can't say
I
anything.
know. I'm like trying to watch your face to be like, is he gonna give any tells?
Probably not. I'll just keep smiling.
I mean, the men aren't. Would they listen to me? Mueller is the question. Like yelling at them to run. They're trained soldiers. Are they just gonna bolt because I tell them to?
You could try. That would be on your turn right now. You could make a
free
charisma check. Yeah.
Would it cost
I'd
my
say
action or?
It's no. I'd say no. It's a persuasion check. Unless you want to use your action to do something to make it more like you give yourself advantage on it, then that would cost your action. But you'd have to tell me what you're doing to like, you know, to make that so.
I guess I'll try to holler that like to run that these cannot be harmed by normal weapons, and can we like run around them? They're blocking the path, the road directly in front of us, but we could run around them, right?
You could. I mean, if you try to run through, you could go into the undergrowth and then try to sneak around them that way. Yes.
Me personally, but I'd abandon everybody else.
Well, you could try to call the men to follow you. It's absolutely doable. You just need to. You'd have to pass this persuasion
Okay.
check.
All right. Well, I'll try it. We'll see if they listen.
All right.
Okay.
My +0 to persuasion. Well, nope, they're not going to come. That's an 8.
No, no, you're calling out, but your voice, you find your voice is caught in your throat.
Oh, mind
Plus
shield. I'm still like being attacked. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. You're still fighting off this mental attack. So you kind of are like, you're calling out, but you're like, guys, come on, like we gotta, like you can't fight here, and it's pretty much lost in the clash of battle.
Right.
You haven't wasted your turn though.
Okay, then
that was a free action.
Let's see if I can like head down to the guy where he fell down.
Okay.
Because that's in the underbrush.
Yeah, you rush in, and you come up. You're kind of looking for him when suddenly a hand grabs your arm, and it is Rygar. His face is bloodied, and his armor has been charred from where the blast hit his horse. And he says, "We must flee these demons, Lone Wolf.
Lean Wolf, that works too. She's scrawny.
Lean Wolf. Oh man,
yeah,
we're gonna have jokes about that.
Right. I'll quickly tell him that. Yeah, it's
we
they
must
cannot
be
be
these demons, Lone Shark.
Lone Shark.
Yeah, he says we must flee these demons. Strength and steel will not avail us here.
Correct. I've seen that conventional weapons do not work. We have to find another way around. So yeah. Is he healthy enough to go, or do I need to try and save him?
He looks up with clenched teeth, where you can hear the ringing of steel and the horrible cries of the Helghast echoing through the trees around you. And you can tell that he's thinking about his men, just as you did. But then he tears himself away and starts heading off through the woods. He hasn't let go of your arm, so he's like pulling you along with him.
Okay. Then we go.
You guys move like quickly through the woods, running and stopping briefly, just to for 6 hours, just to make it away from these guys.
Okay.
The Helghast are on the highway, and you can hear them and see them as they move around through the trees. So you are making your way instead through the steep and wooded foothills to avoid them. Many times you feel that you just cannot go on, that the pain and fatigue are too much to bear. Not to mention that you keep feeling the hints of psychic attack, like minds reaching out tendrils for you through the woods.
Wow, these guys are horrible.
But each time you falter, you are spurred on by Rygar. His endurance is a marvel, for he is younger than you thought he'd be, but he is not your age, and he is clothed in the heavy armor of a summer-lending knight. However, spurred on by him, and despite you do take a level of exhaustion, so you're back at disadvantage on your ability checks.
God, okay.
But by nightfall, you reach the entrance to Tarnalin. Tarnalin is the western tunnel that goes through the Hammerdal Mountains. I'll show you on the map here.
Oh, okay. I see.
Yes. The 3 tunnels of Durinur were excavated during the age of the Black Moon, and each tunnel is over 40 miles long and passes through the huge circle of the Hammerdal Range to the capital. The tunnels provide the only access to the city. So Rygar sits beside you and takes some bread and meat from his pack. "Eat this, Lone Wolf," he says. "You must sustain your strength for the journey to Hammerdal, for from here you must venture alone through Tarnalin. I will remain here and hold the enemy back for as long as I have the strength to fight. Do not argue. Your mission must succeed. That is the only thing that matters."
I'll nod and tell him I'll send reinforcements if possible.
And he nods and says, "Godspeed, then."
Yeah, I'm not
gonna
try and force him. He's clearly stubborn. I'm stubborn. I got a mission. Let's go.
You enter Tarnalin. Over 100 feet in height and width, the tunnel runs to the capital on the far side of the Hammerdal Range and is lit by torches for its entire length. The highway through the mountain is usually alive with the traffic of merchants to and from Port Bax, yet now the entrance and interior are deserted, except for an overturned fruit wagon.
As you walk deeper into Tarnalin, you suddenly feel doubt nagging at you. Why is it so empty? Where is everybody? Why do you feel a cold in your chest? Have the Helghast arrived here first? I've got a picture to show you. Something a little bit unusual. And one of probably my wife's favorite picture from the entire series. She loves these little guys. Let's see if I can throw them up. Yeah, so you've been walking for a half hour when you see a strange creature on top of a wagon in the road ahead. It's 2 feet high, and it resembles an overgrown marsh rat. You assume it is some sort of tunnel-dwelling rodent until you notice it is wearing a splendid jacket of patched leather and carrying what appears to be a spear. As you get nearer, it suddenly turns to face you. Its whiskered nose is sniffing the air, and its bright black eyes are peering into the gloom. It sees you, and it suddenly scampers off into the darkness of a smaller tunnel to your left. A man-sized tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
So there's just an overturned food cart in front of me. Does the tunnel look like it leads? Is it back out or further in or?
The tunnel that it rushed through?
Yeah.
It goes on in the same basic direction you're going.
Do I feel anything weird other than just my concern that nobody's here?
You could use augury.
Yeah.
Do you want to use it on the tunnel that the funny rat creature ran off to?
Sure.
Okay, you sense success down that route.
All right, I guess I head in that direction.
So you move after in the direction the furry creature went, and you actually see it ahead of you. It's hurrying along this narrow, twisting passage as the passage goes thinner and thinner for about 10 minutes. And then suddenly, it opens out into a huge torchlit cavern. A stunning sight greets your eyes. The cavern houses an entire colony of these strange creatures, all of them busy sorting through and examining a vast pile of strange objects littering the center of the hall.
This is very bizarre. Did we know that there were, like, overgrown rat people that lived in this area?
You maybe? No, I don't think so. You don't know much about Tarnalin. You don't know much about Tarnalin. I mean, you don't know what everybody else knows. You yourself have no idea. You've never heard of strange rat creatures.
Right.
But you know, the fact that you have animal kinship now
is that going to work on them?
Well, I want you to make a quick roll.
Okay.
This is make a nature check.
Nature check. Okay.
Yeah.
What's nature? Nature is a +1. Well, that's an 11.
No, it's not high enough.
Mm-hmm.
It's not high enough to know what these things are. Doesn't mean you can't proceed here, though.
Okay. I'll tentatively ask, like, hello.
One of the larger of the creatures, who wears a bright colored cloak of patchwork silks, he steps forward and he's wielding a very, what is a dagger, but it kind of looks like a sword in his hands. I'm gonna throw a picture of him up.
Mm-hmm.
I love this guy. And he steps forward, and all the others stop. And he kind of peers at you and says something in a funky language.
I'm gonna have you make, because you have animal kinship, I'm gonna have you make another roll here. So
Okay.
you get a shot at this.
Okay. What am I rolling?
This will be, let's roll a wisdom.
Okay. 21.
Oh, very nice.
Rolled a 19.
Suddenly something clicks in your mind. And it's like you cast the spell, looking for the name of
Like
it.
the speaking with animals thing?
Speak with animal spell. Yeah. It's like you've cast that. And suddenly you recognize, you understand the language. And it sounds like it's kind of, because you're not really, because you haven't actually learned this language, it sounds like it has a heavy accent to you.
Okay.
But you think you can probably speak it. And the guy is saying, what's you guys are doing here?
I'm trying to find access to Hammerfell.
Whoa, you speak our tongue.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that too.
We have never seen another human being or speak the tongue, the two-leg walkers. Some of these creatures, like hearing you speak their tongue, it's too much. And they stare at you open mouthed. They're like furry little arms hanging loose by their sides.
I've stunned him. Oops.
But the big one, he strides forward and says, "My name's a Gashagish. As I invite you to my throne." And he goes and steps up on top of a raised platform in the center of the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "User, come on over here."
All right, I'll head over that way.
Yeah, you kind of carefully make your way
no
through
problem.
the room.
I mean, it's always good to be polite. I mean,
when
they
you get
outnumber
up
me.
there, he stares at you up and down with his hand on his hip and says, "User not a Daranese man, ne? Where's the user coming from? Yeah?"
Yes, I am not from here. I've traveled far from Summerland.
Summerland, land of the sun. Yeah, Summerland. User, hey, come here.
Uh-huh.
User not a black of screamers, eh?
You've seen them.
Oh yeah, twos of them arrive about 2 clicks of the cock ago. Yeah, quite a mess in the main tunnel. Oh yeah, now they wait there. The black screamers, they waiting for the man to come through and attack on.
Do you know how I could get around them?
As like as the ways you think, yeah. The sneakers around the black screamers, cause of them real mad. Yeah. I'll show you the ways I've asked them, yeah?
I would greatly appreciate that. Now I'll give like a little bit of a bow flourish towards him.
Yeah, and all the new Nicks are like chattering excitedly now. And they're acting like you're one of them. So like a pretty female new Nick is offering you some food for the journey ahead. Like she's as a Nick as this about to offer. We's a get it off of the wagons. There's like some bread and fruit and stuff. It's enough for 2 meals if you want it.
Sure, thank you. I appreciate the gifts.
All right. So you follow Gashgish then along one of the many passages leading out of his cavern. And it's about an hour of trekking through the dark when he stops and points towards a shaft of light that is pouring through a crevice in the far distance. Listen, user goes the left, yeah? Don't goes to the right. You goes the left, user be safe.
Okay. Then she'll thank them for the guidance and hope that they stay well hidden from the black monsters, because
the black screamers, they don't know they go and they mess with the nudniks, no?
good for you.
And he turns away. You squeeze through a fissure in the rock wall and drop down 3 feet to the pathway below. And It's only then that you realize your gold pouch is missing.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, so you lost all your gold.
Aw, that's fine. I'm used to not having gold.
However, they may have saved your life. You passed through the tunnel without encountering any of the Black Screamers, and you've gone about 3 miles when you finally see light in the distance and a group of wagons. They've been strung out to form a barricade across the exit from the highway. Soldiers in red uniforms line the roofs of the wagons, and a large crowd of people have gathered behind them. You hear the excited chatter echoing along the tunnel.
Okay, then I'll approach it.
As you get closer, there's a sudden silence as all the eyes turn to stare at you. Suddenly, the soldiers raise their crossbows.
I'll raise my hands, like, because I'm not holding a weapon, and like, hold. I'm not one of the, what are they called? Hellghasts?
Yeah, or Black Screamers.
Yeah. Black Screamers. Now, that's what they are now. The Black Screamers are here now. No.
Yeah, unfortunately you're still speaking in Nudnik.
No!
Yeah, they surround you with and are kind of holding you at like crossbow point until one of them comes forward, and he's a knight.
Anyone recognize the Kai Lord cloak that I'm wearing at all?
He doesn't seem to initially. He raises his visor and says, "Who are you? What is your purpose in Tarlin?"
I come from Summerfell. I tell him the spiel without.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't want to reiterate this. I've said it like 6 times.
You're getting tired of showing people the seal of Hammer.
Oh my god, I've got important business. I'm trying to save lives here.
However, it seems to work. We are drawing close to the end of this session, but we're going to end it on a high note. You, after showing the seal of Hammerdell, you are taken back. You are taken to Hammerdell, the actual Hammerdell, and put in a coach and actually taken at breakneck speed towards the capital. The knight goes with you, and he tells you that he is Lord Axum of Rhyme, the commander of King Alan's personal bodyguard. He was on his way to Port Bax, actually, when the Helghast entered Tarnelin. He and 10 soldiers were the only ones out of 30 to survive an encounter with the creatures. He tells you that they can be killed with conventional weapons, but it basically involves just cutting them into pieces so that they can't recover. It's very
inefficient.
It takes massive forces to do it. And even then they regenerate so fast it's almost pointless.
Right.
But you make the ride through the Tarnelin. It takes 5 hours to finish passing through the highway to the capital. However, during this time, you drift off to sleep. You recover, so give yourself any hit points you've hurt, get back.
My 1 hit HP.
You're not exhausted anymore.
Yay!
And in fact, your dreams are of a triumphant return to Holmgard and the defeat of the Dark Lord's siege, hoping that is an omen of good things to come. And like I said, we're almost to the end of this session, but there's one more thing I want to get to.
Okay.
So I'm going to throw up one more picture here. This is your view on the morning of the 15th day of your quest.
Ah, okay.
You open your eyes to the breathtaking spectacle of Hammerdell, the city of the mountain. This capital of Durinur, unlike other cities in the Last Lands, does not need man-made fortifications. The encircling peaks of the Hammerdell range offer a far more secure protection for the people within. You can see them off in the distance there. The carriage speeds through lush farmland surrounding the city with its many towers and wide streets. On a hill in the very center of Hammerdell, stands the King's Tower, a magnificent structure of glass and stone. The carriage halts at the tower gates, and you suddenly realize for the first time that as the wielder of the Summer Sword, your destiny would be to become part of the oldest legend of the Last Lands. It is not long before you're taken to the top of this dome tower, where King Alan IV sits alone, viewing his mountain domain through one of the many portals of tinted glass. King Alan is a younger king. His father died when he was still young, and he's ruled the Hammerdell through a period of peace and prosperity. But as you enter, and the seal of Hammerdell is taken from your finger by Lord Axum, you can finally remove it from your special items.
Okay.
You sense that there's a somberness that has come over this king, and a shadow has passed over his reign. King Alan addresses you after talking with Lord Axum, and this is about an hour they talk before he finally turns to you for the first time and says, "Alas, Skylord, the Dark Lords have awoken once more, and once more the Summerland come in search of our aid. I had prayed that my reign would be remembered as a time of peace and fulfillment, but in my heart, I knew it was to be otherwise." The king removes a golden key from the pocket of his white robe and inserts it in a marble dais standing in the center of the chamber. A gentle humming fills the room as the stone cover slides back to reveal the hilt of a golden sword. "Take the sword, Lone Wolf. It is foretold that only a true son of Summerland can release the powers that lie within its blade. Or, in this case, a true daughter."
Hopefully the sword is not gender specific either.
Yeah, I don't think it's misogynistic.
Okay. No,
that's
curse
funny
you, magical sword.
That's funny about Ofex. He's tempting me to throw up the picture. There is a spoiler here. Well, not spoiler. It's something you missed. There is actually a way to find a magic weapon to fight the Hellghasts.
Oh, okay. I
but
waltzed
you
right
missed
back
under
it, huh?
Journeys. Ofex, cover your eyes. I am going to throw up what happens though if you miss the nude nicks and end up having to face
Ooh.
in the tunnel. I'll admit it's one of the frightening pictures from our youth here. So, but moving on from that,
You might want to replace that so he can watch again.
I have a much more impressive picture.
There we go.
To show you, and this is it.
All right.
It is up to you, Lone Wolf, if you are ready to fulfill your destiny and grab the sword.
Ready or not, I have but one choice to make here. So she will stride forward and grab a hold of it.
As you grab the blade, you suddenly feel it loosen in the stone in front of you, and you easily pull it free. Power courses through you, and the sunlight strikes the blade as you hold it up through the domed windows. And for a moment, your entire body seems engulfed in flame, but it does not burn you nor damage the sword. But it is like a flash of sunlight running down the blade. The power coursing through your body so overwhelms your senses that for a moment you become oblivious to your surroundings. The power of the Summer Sword is now yours. The power to kill the Dark Lords. And this is a special item that you will get.
Okay.
You're also, as part of this, you're going to level up.
Yay!
Because we went a little bit over, I'm gonna halt there. We'll get into what the special powers are next time.
Okay.
And next time you will also get to do your level up before we begin the session. So
sounds good.
You'll have one more spell to pick out, and you'll have your course to pick out, your ranger course. And I think you'll also get a special ability.
Yep. Yeah,
something to do with.
there's a couple things for level 3 that I get to add on. So
Cool. So that is where we will end today. Is there anything else left in the chat to cover?
Weissmuller's asking if the sword is less overpowered than in the books.
Yes, yes, it is. It's a very powerful weapon for a level 2 or 3 character to have in D&D in general, but not in a solo game. And that's what really makes this work. I can make the weapon a lot more. I can basically leave it equivalent to how powerful it is in the game books without breaking the game the way it does in the game books. It's still going to be a very challenging solo adventure. But the Summer Sword will help her survive some of the otherwise probably unsurvivable encounters. I think you'll dig it, how it works. There's actually a weapon in D&D, official D&D books that's very similar to this. So I've just adjusted that a little bit.
Okay. Cool.
So it's almost like an official weapon.
Yeah, if I can, actually do some damage on the things that we aren't able to do damage on earlier, that would be lovely.
Very famously in the game books, this weapon breaks the series. Like it adds in that book, like getting a +2 to your attack is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you a +8.
Whoa!
And
that's
really,
a little much.
It caused a lot of problems. Also because Joe wrote the book so that you could play each one as solo.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could just pick up book 14 and be like, I'm going to play this. And you don't necessarily get the weapons and items you picked up from previous books if you do that.
Mm-hmm.
So the problem was all the way back in book 2, he offers this immensely powerful weapon. And then he has to write every book after that as if you have it and don't have it. So he started bumping up the difficulty to kind of make way for that. And it's hard because you're dealing with a range of +8 that you have to account for. And it's just too hard. A lot of people, it's one of the only like real big complaints about the books is that if you have the Summer Sword, it's way too easy. If you don't have the Summer Sword, it can be pretty hard. So balance in the books is rough. So yes, that'll be fixed here.
Awesome. The unbalanced boss fights.
Yeah.
Weissmuller saying that he house ruled that the Summer Sword was +4 when he did it.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. A lot of people play with it as +4.
Ofix comments that the hardcore mode in 7th Sense nerfs it down to +2, except when fighting major bosses like Dark Lords.
Right. And to Joe's credit, he did, for big fights, he often asked the question, if you have the Summer Sword, turn to this page. And the boss fight would be a little different based on if you had it. He basically used that to adjust it on the fly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we won't have to do that. The Summer Sword is going to be it's going to be a very fun weapon for our campaign. You are attuned to it, Morganite,
okay.
So make sure you mark down it's one of your 3 attunements. And actually, there will be a lot of situations where you won't want to use it, I think. But we'll get to that next time when we talk. We'll open with the majestic drawing of the sword and the listing of its powers.
Sounds good. And I'll try and wrangle up all of the things that I get to add with level 3. Huzzah!
Awesome.
We made it to level 3. Oh, she's gonna be able to live so much better now. Or rather, do much more in combat. She's still squishy, potentially. So.
I hope everybody enjoyed it. I'm glad we had some more listeners this time. That's great to see. I don't know if Weissmuller's been in before, but it's cool to have you here and chat with you about the books.
Yeah, no, it's fun to have people that have played it before kind of like, oh, what's she gonna do? I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh my god. So if you want to keep up with the like live streams as they are coming out, please do follow me on my Twitter. Otherwise, they'll be loaded up on YouTube eventually. And if you catch them within the week or 2, you can still get them on Twitch. So, but thanks for hanging out. This is a lot of fun. I'm amazed that I did not die. I really did go into this expecting death constantly. So we've nearly
Yeah.
TPK'd so many times in our main run that I'm just like, wow, we're alive at the end of the session. Cool. So
I'm a fairly let the dice play out as they will guy. So yeah, I don't put in I don't pull a lot of punches. And this is not an easy set of adventures. But you actually took a very nice path through the books this time.
that was
you,
easy.
you didn't fight like anybody this time except for that trickster.
I still like nearly died multiple times, but it's fine. I succeeded in my escape attempts.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Well,
Cool.
good to see everybody. We'll catch you next time.